Follow Altavista Colonels basketball all season long on 105.5 KD Country and KDCountry.com.
Time for Altavista basketball. But the gang's all here. Kyle Haney, Bob Alvis alongside. Altavista having a few bus problems. It's going to back the start of this one back up to about 6:55. So if it ain't one thing, it's another for Mr. Hubbard. He has had a second week in a row now. Transportation issues.
Yeah, he takes some things for granted, but, we're going to get some basketball played. And really, I don't think the start time being delayed 10 minutes is much of an issue at all. I mean, you think back to last night, girls were delayed more than that just because the first game ran long.
Right.
So I don't think it's really going to mess up the schedule or the flow of things too much at all, Bobby.
You would like to think they'd like to be here to stretch the legs a little bit earlier.
Sure.
They just got here in the fourth quarter of the Heritage girls game, and, Altavista is very punctual when it comes to these things. They like to have their, ducks in a row and get here early. But, hey, we got basketball. When it gets tipped up, everybody's here.
That's right. State tournament, state quarterfinal action, Super Saturday from the Salem Civic Center. Altavista Colonels taking on Surry here in just a little less than 30 minutes. So it's a situation where we're all excited to be here. I don't think the schedule is going to be much of a problem at all, Bob. Let's focus on the ball game, huh?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I mean, Altavista at the Salem Civic Center, a new place for them. They have not played here that I can remember since I've started this shindig with KD Country. So it is a new location. Longer drive for Surry, but not right down the road for the Colonels.
Yeah, Colonels, an hour and a half or so from Altavista, depending on where you're coming from. Obviously, and we see a lot of Colonel fans did make the trip, and we hope we got a lot of folks listening back home on 105.5 or KDCountry.com. It is the Subway pregame show. Subway, eat fresh, $3 breakfast combos still going on. You get a 6-inch breakfast sub with a 16-ounce coffee or a 21-ounce drink. And, of course, we already talked about $3 6-inch oven-roasted chicken or the $6 buffalo chicken foot-long. Can't beat those deals here at the two locations in Altavista, Main Street, and also the Walmart on the Clarion Road in Altavista.
And I've never heard anyone say I had a bad day after I started my day with Subway.
That's a great point. You get started on the right foot with that breakfast combo. You're a pleasure to be around, and people are envious of your breakfast choice, I'm sure.
Some of the local teams not having a good day here at Salem so far. We'll talk about that later, but when we come back, it's the head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Mr. Mike Cardellaro. It's the Colonels and the Cougars right here on the Subway pregame show on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
I wasn't present at the Altavista Regional Final, and if the result keeps it up like it is, Mike Cardellaro might want to keep me away forever. Good win over Page County, Coach, and let's just dive right into it. You guys, it seemed like, I guess got on them early. Tell me about the game.
Well, we did. We came out of the gates, and we jumped on them pretty good. Juan started the game off hitting a three, and pressure kind of got to him early, and we got inside with the Twins. Darius really got on the glass. He had 17 rebounds for the night, and it was just a real good start in the atmosphere. It was unreal. There's probably 3,000 people in there, and Page has a tremendous following. We had a great crowd, but I would say that they had about 2,000 people themselves in there. And, just kind of snowballed from that point. Guys had a lot of confidence. We had great balance. Juan ended up with 26 points. I say balanced. Juan and Darius scored a lot, but we got contributions from Richard. Richard knocked down 3 threes. So overall, it was just it's what you could ask for in a regional championship. Guys came out and had a lot of composure and played really well.
How important is it for Juan to get that big game? Because lately it's been Darius and Demetrius, and not that Juan's a slouch, but Juan really kind of has an explosive game. How much do you think that can maybe kickstart him for hopefully what's a 3-game season at this point?
Well, I mean, obviously it's got to help his confidence, and he sure seems to have that look. And he had the look before the game. It's interesting. We were going up on a charter bus, and of course, when you're on a charter bus, you got a chance to watch a movie or a DVD, and we watched the highlight tape first of the state championship year, and Juan really got excited about it. And it's amazing, but that's been 9 years ago,
right.
and these guys were first, second, third grade. So he got excited, and he had that look about him. And before the game started, the crowd was really vocal, and he just had a nice look in his eyes, and was ready to step up, and he had a great night. And it does do a lot. And speaking of the twins, Demetrius really stepped up and had to take on the tough assignment of guarding their best player, the player of the year in the district, Tanner Doffelmeyer, who's been around for 4 years and played against us as a freshman. And Demetrius did a real nice job against him. He made him work for everything he got.
You've got Surry next here at the Salem Civic Center. First, let's talk about the pros and cons of playing in Salem. It is, quote-unquote, the home game for you guys. It's a bit of an open arena, and I, off the top of my head, can't think of anywhere you've been lately that's been as open as Salem is.
No, it's not. It's completely different. But it's that time of the year, you're going to be playing in a different venue. Your routine gets changed up. You just have to be bigger than what's going on and go out there and realize that the basket's 10 feet up and 2 balls fit through it, and the floor is still the same. But it's different for us. Obviously we'd like to be playing a little bit closer. Maybe LU would be nice, but it's where the league likes to play the games, in this area. So we'll just have to adjust. The floor isn't slightly elevated because it's a floor that they put together and put in place, and they certainly use the Civic Center for other things. So there's a lot of things that we've talked about this week that we've got to be able to adjust to and be ready to play the game.
What stands out to you about Surry based on what you know?
Athletic, extremely athletic, extremely physical. They have a 5 3-point guard, Johnson, who is a water bug. I mean, he can really, really scoot. He can get in the lane. They've got 2 excellent wing shooters in Little and Bailey, both about 6 foot, and they really shoot the ball well. And they've got 2 bangers in the post that will really play hard. They're fit. They're probably 6'1". So we're looking at an extremely athletic team that's very physical and very aggressive. And we've got to respond. We've got to take care of the ball. They're going to probably switch up defensively on us, and we're going to see some combinations of zones, 2 or 3 different zones, and combination of some man. So we're going to have to be able to react and adjust to changing defenses, and we really have to take care of the ball and limit turnovers because that's what they feed off of. They're very much a transition team. With that being said, we feel like we got the advantage in the paint with the Twins, and we certainly want to make them have to defend the Twins in the paint and give them something to think about in there, and that's going to be really important, especially early in the game.
To help out people who have seen Altavista play some this year, when you compare Surry's athleticism, who is it comparable to? I mean, is it Dan River, Gretna, Chatham, any of the 3?
Certainly, it is certainly those type of kids that, that's got speed and quickness. There's no doubt about it. It could be any combination, really. They're not as tall, obviously, as Dan River, but other than the Johnson, the point guard, everybody is 6 foot or 6'1". So they're all kind of the same size, and they'll come off the bench with 3 or 4 players that are all about 6 foot, 6'1". So similar type athletes, Chatham, Dan River, Gretna, just from a different region, but super aggressive. They're really gonna come after us, and they're gonna be physical.
2 last questions before we get to the shout-outs. One is, we didn't get to talk to you after the Gretna game. We talked to Coach Ward to give him a little bit of airtime, and he did very well representing the program. But, to Gretna, then Page County, both games haven't really been that close. Advantage or disadvantage, or, as long as you win, you don't care how many points it's by?
Well, I mean, that's a tribute to the kids to go and win those two games. I mean, when you beat somebody like that, obviously you're playing pretty good basketball. We've been in plenty of close games this year, but in those situations, and if you ask a coach, well, would you rather win by 20 or win by 2? I think he'd tell you, obviously win by 20. We couldn't have played better, really, back-to-back games at the most important time of the year last week. So we're hoping that's going to carry right into tonight's state game. And this is the last tournament, and it goes up another notch in intensity, and the physical play goes up another notch too. So we feel like we're coming off of the best weekend we've had all year, and feel like that we're playing our best basketball, and now's the right time. So hopefully that's going to continue.
And how important is it too that everybody kind of stays the same in terms of routine, temperament, everything? I mean, do you want to keep it the same, or do you want to amp it up a little bit, or what?
Well, whether I want to amp it up or not, when you roll in, and last Saturday against Page, there's 3,000 people in there. That's going to amp it up for the kids to learn. And, tonight it's going to be a big crowd. It's probably going to be more than 3,000 in there, because you've got a lot of Lynchburg area people that are there to support Heritage boys and girls and EC Glasses boys, and they're probably going to be around maybe to watch us. And certainly we'll have, going into this, we're going to have a huge crowd too. So it's going to get itself amped up. It's the state tournament. If you can't get excited about that, you can't get excited. So really for us, we got to kind of keep a lid on our guys. I think they will be excited about playing, and we look forward to the opportunity. And it's the state tournament. Not everybody gets a chance to play in it. So I think we'll have our energy. We just gotta we gotta really be fundamental and play the game. The routine thing, hey, it's that time of the year. Sometimes you have your routine, sometimes you do not. You got to adjust and go about your business.
I always get excited about shout-outs myself. What about you?
Okay, yes I do. Yes I do. Well, shout-outs to Dottie. My dad is watching us play tonight, so big Buena Vista shout-out to Dottie. Minnie and Billy is home. He has made it home, and Ann is down with them right now, so that is great. Micah and Heather, they actually were at the regional championship game. And big shout out to Micah, Heather, Miranda McKinley, and little Micah, who he's calling Bubby. That's a good name. Big shout out to Aunt Fran in Philadelphia. And a lot of people are at the game tonight, Bob. And also, always a shout out to our dear neighbors, Sarah and Swanson, who always listen in on KDE.
I love it when more people get at the game. It takes a little bit of pressure off us, but these are big games, so the pressure's back on. Coach, I hope we're talking before Thursday. Best of luck against Surry.
That sounds great. Thanks, Bob.
That was Mike Cardallero, head coach of the Altavista Colonels. When we come back, we'll review last night's girls basketball game with Altavista's victory over Colonial Beach right here on the Subway pregame show on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Don't you think it's time that your business account made you money? I'm Marion Marshall with First National Bank, and we've introduced a small business interest checking account that earns your business interest. That's right, interest. So for a progressive small business checking account, come to First National Bank today. We'll show how your business account will earn interest, and we'll provide you with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista got a big victory last night over Colonial Beach in the girls basketball variety. Afterwards, we took the recorder to the media room, and Deborah Spencer and Sydney Morris, representing the Colonels, were grilled with a few questions. Here's some of that right here on the Subway pregame show on 105.5 KD Country.
Certainly we're glad to be sitting here and having won and getting an opportunity to continue playing. It was, we played hard. Our kids played hard. And we're fortunate to come out with a win today, so we're pretty happy.
Coach, talk about the defensive efforts. You held Colonial Beach to a really low percentage there.
I hadn't really looked at the stats yet, but you're right. Having seen their season stats, they were very good shooters, had multiple shooters that shot the ball really well and had scored a good many points. I think, the point guard I thought played really well, and losing her to some foul trouble, I think, certainly disrupted their offense a little bit. They probably did not shoot the ball tonight as well as they normally do, and we were able to benefit from that tonight. So I don't know. We were very aware all week at practice about knowing where number 1 is and where number 32 is going to be. So we were trying to limit their percentage on the first shot and then try to out-rebound them and hold them to, not giving up easy baskets, and I think we were able to do that.
How big was capitalizing on turnovers for you guys?
Big for us. Certainly getting what we call easy baskets, because they did a good job defensively in their half-court defense, packing it inside and chasing her around. So getting those easy baskets, I think, generating those turnovers and capitalizing on them was a big part of our offense tonight. And it kind of built and gave us some runs and built our confidence, honestly.
What was your message in halftime? It seemed like the girls came out a little bit more deliberate and a little bit more balanced in terms of the offense instead of trying to run up the hill. To be more disciplined, to be more focused, to be tougher, because honestly I think Colonial Beach out-hustled us in the first half. They were the kids that were down on the floor getting all the loose balls, and they were just out-hustling us. And my challenge to our kids was to be more disciplined, to be more focused, to play under control. I think we lost our concentration. We worried about maybe calls that we didn't get that we wanted, or did not adjust to the physical play inside, and weren't concentrating on the things we needed to. And I think they really responded to that in the second half. We started getting out on the floor for the balls, and I think that helped our momentum. So you ever had a run like that, scoring in the second half like you did?
Probably like, what did I do?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Did you know you finished 27?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
27?
Yeah, 27.
Is that close to a career high for you at all?
I think it is a career. No, it's not a career.
Back when you were really young, you scored like 30-some.
34 or 36. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's I had no idea. Was that many?
But to get this experience on this court and you're coming back here in less than a week, what does that do just to get on this court and get a feel for what it's like to play here, so that way when you come back, you kind of have an idea of what to expect?
You guys can use it?
Either.
I think it helps us get a little more better view of like the basket, because like normally when we come down here it's a whole I think it's depth perception. I think like the basket, I feel like it's closer. Some people might feel like it's away, and the 3-point line, I think if there's 2 out there, I think we got a little confused sometimes. I mean, in the lighting, but I think it'll help us getting on here and being able to play. It'll give us a little bit of an advantage.
27 points and 8 rebounds last night for Sydney Morris. Leads Altavista to a matchup in the state semifinals on Thursday for the girls, has the guys looking to follow that up tonight. We'll take a timeout and come back to talk more Altavista and Surry. Division I Group A state quarterfinals right here from the Salem Civic Center on 105.5 KD Country.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago, and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced, with drink specials and great service too. voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
It's tough out there trying to stretch each paycheck a little farther than the last one. It means cutting costs. And one of the best places to start is at Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance. Because I'll do a discount double check to make sure you're getting the car insurance discounts you deserve, up to 40%. So give Eric Fletcher State Farm Insurance a call today. Because being there to help keep more of your money in your pocket is why I'm here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonel basketball about 8 minutes away from tip-off here from the Salem Civic Center. We were in the Siegel Center last night, Bob, so sometimes the name game can get a little crazy, but it's the Salem Civic Center. It's the Cougars versus the Colonels, and Altavista getting those final warm-up preparations in as we speak, Mr. Albus.
You know, in many, many years of high school sports now on WKD, KD Country, we've seen Surry on the football field take on William Campbell back when they have Edward Barham as a tight end. We went down to Smithfield High School many moons back for Altavista and Surry. So it's funny, you always see those matchups in Region B, Region A kind of cycle back around at some point. But tonight, Altavista looking to get one step closer to the ultimate goal, which is a state championship.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's, again, we're at the win or go home stage. If you don't win here tonight, your game is done, and you got to win all the way out if you want to hoist that Group A Division I state championship trophy. And really, it's a 3-game tournament, and 8 teams left. Well, not 8 teams left anymore because a few teams have already been eliminated, but the goal is definitely to be playing 2 more times after this ball game.
Yeah, 5 teams left actually right now. We've got the other 3 already set for next week's Siegel Center state semifinals, and stay tuned for that, folks, because that could get a little dicey depending on what happens with the weather. But this winner of this one gets J.I. Burden next Thursday, tentatively at 1 o'clock over at the Siegel Center. J.I. Burden went on the road, knocked off Bland County at the buzzer in a Region D, Region C matchup. The other 2 set, we saw West Point knock off Page last night in the boys before the Altavista girls took to the court. The other one, Perry McClure goes on the road and knocks off Castlewood. So Mike Carlero's alma mater still kicking in this thing. And Group A Boys Division I. We talked about some other happenings here at the Salem Civic Center today. Hadn't been a good day for the locals, Kyle.
No, it hasn't. Dan River lost early in the day. The Division II Region B champs. They lost to Essex, and of course we know Dan River beat Altavista 3 times this year. And then both Heritage girls and guys dropped their games. We got here for the second half of that Heritage guys game. Close ball game with the Pioneers, just could not cut into that deficit enough. And then the same thing happened to the Heritage girls here in the game that happened right before us. Tracy Hayes and her well-coached squad go down to the Bassett Bengals.
Yeah, and Cameron Carter, really outstanding player. Individuals often get the shine at VCU. Unfortunately, Cameron won't have that opportunity now as Bassett moves on. Really a gritty-gutty effort, I thought, by the Bengals all the way. I mean, they might not have had one person I could point to as a standout superstar, but they had a lot of people just doing the right things. Salem, on the other hand, it's funny, we kind of talked about this earlier. Salem, it was the road team in terms of the Super Site state quarterfinal, but I guarantee you they didn't have near as long a ride as Heritage did unless they drove around the Civic Center about 50 times, because they're right in their backyard. The road team, not that would have made a difference, but you got to think just for the comfortability factor of Heritage did have a longer drive. Sometimes it's tougher to get those legs stretched back out. Salem, you could have almost driven yourself to the game.
Yeah, some of the kids maybe even could have walked to the ball game. But, Heritage was the region champion, just like Altavista is. The Colonels come into this one Region B champs. They won that last week at Spotswood. over Page County, and we saw West Point knock off Page County last night in Richmond. That happened right before the Altavista girls game. So a lot of familiarity, a lot of different teams getting mentioned, but the one that I think most of our listeners are big on and care about, the Altavista Colonels. They're getting loose right now, about 4 minutes away from tip-off here from Salem.
Surry came in with a regular season record of 14-6. They have 4 state semifinals in their history. 1 state championship, we saw that the year they knocked off Altavista. They captured the state final, and, really even Mike Carlero's talked about that in the past of, it's really hard to pull against Joe Ellis that year, who had inoperable cancer. I think it was stomach cancer, and eventually passed away after the state tournament early in the summer that year. So it's kind of tough to pull against the guy that had those odds going against him that year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're a big-time Colonel fan, you can remember when we went down there to Smithfield High School, Bob and I, that was the year after the Altavista Colonels won the state championship. So a lot of guys off that team were still playing, people like Jeremy Booth and Alan Grisenda and those guys, and it was a really good contest back then. And I think if you remember, Bob, Surry, he really never went to the bench. It was the same 5 guys that stayed out there all game. They played very well. Colonels came up a little bit short in that one, but that was, like we mentioned, a long time ago before any of these players were around. So I don't think that affects our matchup at all, but it is interesting to note, like you said, how many times, your Region A and Region B teams, you see the same matchups. And there's a lot of teams like the Colonels who are always good. They're always competitive, and they always make deep tournament runs. And I think you can throw Surry in that group from Region A.
All you need is 5 sometimes. I mean, Coach K has played with 6 a lot. And Arizona, I remember back when they had some of their talented teams, only played with 6. So, you can argue, is depth overrated or is it underrated? That's another discussion for another day. Altavista would like to see one more light show this year, and if it is, that will be the state final next Friday. But they've got to get past this one before we even think about heading back to VCU for the guys. It's Altavista and Surry County, and when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and much, much more on the Subway pregame show on 105.5 KD Country.
Want a tire that offers enhanced safety for you and your family? See me, your Michelin dealer. Whatever you drive, chances are I have a set of Michelin tires that delivers the safe ride you want for you and your passengers. Michelin's advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds can provide exceptional grip, even on the wettest roads. So drop in today, and I'll help you get the drop on rain this season.
Find the right Michelin tire and get expert service at Perkins Twin Tire Altavista and online at PerkinsTwinTire.com.
McDonald's is a proud supporter of the community it serves daily with mouth-watering Big Macs and golden fries. In the spirit of community, McDonald's is pleased to sponsor the Altavista basketball teams as they battle through the tournaments. Good luck. McDonald's is the best place to celebrate a Colonel win, and they always invite you in for a tasty meal. Don't forget to try the new Fish McBites. McDonald's, Main Street in Altavista, cheering the Colonels on to victory.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista and Surry County state quarterfinal. The sportsmanship oath is getting ready to be read. And Kyle, while they read that oath, you have a pretty good oath too.
We got a pretty good oath from our sponsors, the people that make the game possible. Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. They also sponsor our YouTube rebroadcast as well. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. El Cazador, $4 daily lunch specials. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Your State Farm agents, Eric Fletcher and Chris Anderson, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving family since 1905. English is your complete home center. Davis Paint dealer. McDonald's in Altavista is a proud supporter of the Colonels. Try the new Fish McBites. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you warm in the winter, cool in the summer. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Herd of Moose. And Perkins Twin Tire, your home for Michelin Defender tires. And Bob, got to send a big shout out to a very big Virginia basketball fan, my buddy Daniel. You know, that Joe Harris, he's been going off lately, and I think he shoots the basketball like Daniel used to. Odd angles, odd, tough shots. Much like you were out there on the hardwoods back in your day, Alvis. You like to bank it in from the corner and that kind of trick shot stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that was odd about my shot is if it went in. That was the real odd at the Altavista and Surry County. Kyle, we've got lineups for both teams. I'll let you be in charge. Who do you want to tackle first?
I'm going to tackle the visitors, the Surry County Cougars. They're going to go with number 11, Timothy Marsh. He's a sophomore. Number 14, Derek Bailey Jr. He is a junior. Number 22, Donnie Lytle. He is a junior. Number 24, Keon Ellis, a senior. And number 32, Devion Smith, a senior for the Surry County Cougars.
Colonels are going to counter with an impressive lineup on their own. I'll tackle that one since take the home team. They're going to go with number 1, Michi Ballback, 5'8" sophomore guard. Number 2, 6'1" guard, Juan Thornhill. Number 5, Demetrius Johnson. He's a 6'3" sophomore forward. Brother Darius listed at 6'4", has the center, twins, and the sophomore. And finally, Richard Hubbard, the 5'10" junior guard. So Altavista going with the lineup that they've ridden the past couple games, and, you know, we really saw Michi come alive against Gretna over there at Amherst in the region semi, which got Altavista their state tournament berth.
Yeah, he went off against Gretna up there in Amherst, making a bunch of threes, and really played well up at Spotswood in the region championship game. Bob didn't score as much, but, you know, Michi, he is making his presence felt in other areas. You know, he's a great defender, passes the basketball, provides this spark. He can shoot the long-range J, or he can drive to the basket. So Michi is a great player for the Altavista Colonels, and we'll see what he has in store for things tonight.
Next to last game of the evening, the last game of the evening will be the EC Glass Hilltoppers taking on Carroll County. I believe the alma mater of one Mr. Jason Kilborn. So we'll see how that one goes in the finals. Mike Cardellaro, this is one of those instances where he knows the public address announcer, Grant Smithers, who is former head coach at Salem. You know, Salem and Altavista got to be friends there in a while because they were allotted in the same places back in the postseason in the state tournaments when Salem had a really good club. So we'll see if the Civic Center can bring the Colonels some luck tonight. Altavista will be dressed in the home whites, orange and black striping. Altavista A written on the left leg, black diamond around it. Surry has just straight blue jerseys. Striping on the side of the short goes white, gray, and yellow in a checkerboard pattern. White and gray at the bottom, S on the bottom left leg. Cougars written on the front in white, outlined in yellow numeral, the same centered on the back.
Every broadcaster in the business is envious of your uniform description. Nobody describes the uniform like Bob Alvis does. It's a lost art. And, Colonel's in the familiar home whites. It's a good look for them, and Surry's got a good look as well. You know, you look out there, Surry doesn't look like they have a whole lot of size. Not that the Colonels are towering over them or anything, but I would say Altavista does have a little bit of a size advantage in this ball game.
Keon Ellis is going to jump against Darius Johnson. Altavista going to the right. Surry will be going to the left here in the first half. Tip is going to go right over into press row down there at the far end, and it's going to go to Surry. Now, Kyle, you know what a fan I am of hair.
You love the hair. We always talk about our all-hair Dogwood district team. Got a couple people that would be candidates for that if Surry played in the Dogwood.
Donnie Lytle might be the top guy. We'll talk about him as the evening progresses. Marsh has the basketball. Left side goes down low. Kicks it over to Smith. Now back out to Marsh. Marsh drives in. Gets rid of it to Lytles. Lytles will give back to Bailey. Bailey hands back to Lytles. Lytles drives in. Kick. Marsh for three. It's going to go in. Rims down. And Surry strikes first, 3-0.
Early 3-0 lead for the Cougars. Altavista came out in their customary man-to-man defense. Cougars were patient, passed around the perimeter, eventually found an opening for a three ball.
Smallback guarded by Lytle. Smallback spins. Smallback to the free throw line. Leaves it for Demetrius. Johnson powers his way up and gets in two.
Well,
3-2 Surry.
I'm sorry, Bob. Nice spin move by Michi Malbeck. Really using the dribble very carefully there, and then a good pass to get it to Demetrius.
Lytle's over to Marsh. Marsh gives to Bailey. Bailey between the circles, guarded by Demetrius. Puts it on the hand, puts it on the floor with the left. Now over to Lytle's. Lytle's drives all the way in, and they're going to say Lytle's was going up, and it's going to be 2 fouls on Richard Hubbard.
Well, you can tell already early, Bob. Surry very athletic, very quick, and they got a lot of rangy guys who are around, 6 foot, can play inside and outside. Lytle's one of them. He is not a very tall guard, but he can move around the perimeter and on the low block with ease.
Actually, it seems to be pronounced Little, so Little will hit 2.
How do you know they're right and we're wrong? We could be right. Thank you.
I'm going to go with Grant Smithers on this.
Go with whatever you want to go with, Bob. It's 5-2. Cougars in the lead now.
Little hits 2. And, free throws could be big. Thornhill gets inside, had it stripped. Juan tries to get it back, cannot. Picked up by the Cougars. Surry's coming the other way. Bailey with it in front of that Altavista bench. Guarded by Demetrius. Bailey lost it. Now regathers. Gives to Little. Little guarded by Michi. Little puts it on the floor with his left all the way to the rack. Little falls, and the basketball is going to fall out. And it's going back to Altavista. A lot of slipping and sliding right there.
Yeah, and when you play a bunch of games on one court, that can happen. They wax the court, or maybe they don't wax the court, but they clean the court before the day, and it's nice and tacky, and you get a good surface. As the game goes on, more and more dust and stuff accumulates on that surface.
Ball off the leg of Malbeck, and it's going back to the Cougars.
Yeah, Colonels with a couple early turnovers. They trail 5-2, still very early, 6:16 to go here in the first quarter.
Marsh, the point guard, but it's Bailey who handles a little bit more. Bailey guarded by Demetrius. Bailey in big trouble, gets rid of it. Darius comes away with the steal. Johnson kind of gets shoved while going after it. Ball still loose on the floor. More bodies on the ground than are standing up. And Surry gets the timeout. Cougars keep possession with the timeout. We'll take one as well with 5:58 to go in quarter one. Altavista trails 5-2 with this 30-second break on KD Country.
Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
2:02 elapsed in this one. Colonels in a quick hole, 5-2. Surry's come out playing hard, Kyle. I mean, Mike Cardallero compared them in the pregame to a Pennsylvania County-type team in athleticism. I certainly don't think he was fibbing.
Absolutely. They get up and down the court quickly. 2 more points very quickly for Surry on the backdoor cut. 7-2 Cougar lead.
Donnie Little contributes 2 more at 7-2. Thornhill comes all the way down, leaves it off for Darius, and Johnson deposits 2 from the left block, 7-4.
Good finish by Darius there. Colonels needed that. They needed some points, even though they only trailed by not much. 3 points in this case.
Little picks it up, now back in his hands from Smith. Little guarded by Malbeck. Little splits the defense, gets it off to Bailey. Bailey will fire from way out, 3-pointers up, no good. Rebounded by Altavista. Darius Johnson controls.
Colonels really hadn't had a whole lot of rebounds, Bob, partly because Surry hadn't missed too many shots.
Juan Thornhill drives, spins, gives it to Malbeck on the right side. Michi, nice lob pass into Darius. Johnson gets it and one. Bailey came over a tad late, and Darius has a chance to tie this one.
Great lob pass there by Michi Malbeck. Great vision to find Darius on the low block, and then Darius provides the fantastic finish. Bob, first quarter brought to you by the KD Country Instant Auction. 1 week from today, March 9th. A lot of great stuff on there. CC's Pizza, Applebee's, just to name a few.
Darius Johnson looking to feed his hunger at the free throw line. 7-6, our score, Surry. 5:02 to go in quarter one, and the Dogwood District Player of the Year looks to finish the three-point play the old-fashioned way. And a little discussion between Surry's head coach Jake Mintz and one of the officials. think just to clear up who the foul was on. Darius misses. Brother Demetrius helps out with the rebound. Demetrius lost it on the way up, and it's going to be off of Surry, I believe, and it'll stay to Altavista.
Yeah, great offensive rebound there by Demetrius. Gives Altavista an extra possession here. Let's see if the Colonels can convert. They could take the lead with a field goal. Down 7-6, with just under 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter.
Lob back to Thornhill. Thornhill spins. Thornhill kicks out. Michi for three. Malbeck hits. Malbeck from the right wing. Triple puts Altavista up to 9-7 with 4:46 to go in quarter number one.
Boy, Malbeck is really gaining confidence from behind the arc, huh, Bob?
Little with the basketball. You got that right. Kicks. Surry with the drive. No good on the shot from Smith. And here comes Thornhill the other way. Lays it up and in. Juan with two more.
Juan with the rebound, then the coast-to-coast, all 94 feet provided by Juan Thornhill. A lot of contact down there, no call. Bucket goes up and in for Surry.
It's Tracy Williams with two, and it's 11-9. Frantic pace here early on, Kyle. 4:08 to go. Malbeck over to Thornhill. You know, Darius misses the free throw. Altavista gets it back going out of bounds and hits a three. I'll tell you, when the Colonels miss free throws, they're getting points somewhere out of that. Hubbard for three from the corner, no good. Juan with the rebound, doesn't even touch the floor and sticks in two. 13-9.
I think it was Darius Johnson, but the rest of your call was correct. Got the rebound, stuck it back up and in. Quick points by Surry. Bob, you don't even need a color guy tonight. It's fast and furious, both teams scoring quickly.
Number 33, who is not listed in our program.
Gotta love that. 11. I think they said Justin Morgan.
Malbeck with it. Malbeck drives in. Leaves it. Shot up and no good, but Darius was fouled. And I do apologize, but Darius did have that nice rebound to where he didn't touch the floor. He just came in from flying and got in two.
Yeah, and he's back to the free throw line now. Colonels lead 13-11. And that other basket was, I believe, like I said, Justin Morgan for Surry County. Darius sinks the first free throw. 14-11 now. Altavista leading.
Normally you see like a roster, you know, somebody might have had the wrong number. Morgan not even listed in the state program. Really short.
Late season call-up. And that's very possible. I mean, we know Altavista's got some guys from the junior varsity club up on their team. They're listed in the roster, but maybe Surry just didn't get the info sent in time.
Sometimes Region A plays their championship games a little bit later, too. Johnson sinks second, 15-11. 3:27 to go. Little with it. I mean, if you get the VHSL program and look at the AAA brackets, it's got like two teams listed for each, almost champion runner-up, just because of the state playing so late. Johnson with the steal. He's not late. All the way to the rack. Goes for the hammer. But he was hammered. The foul is going to go against Keon Ellis. And Darius back to the home away from home. Third trip to the line tonight.
Yeah, Darius breathing heavily. He was full speed there looking for the big jam, and he would have got it if he wasn't fouled. And you could maybe even make a case possibly that it was an intentional foul, but I think the refs made the right call. Canavis Jones at the scorer's table for the Colonels, and he'll check in after the first free throw, which is missed by Darius Johnson.
Think you can make a solid case. Darius came down the lane with bad intentions.
Oh, yes.
Bailey will come back in.
He almost converted the dunk anyway, but just got nudged and really kind of got out of arm's length there. 15-11, Colonels lead. 3:15 to play here in the first quarter.
On the floor for Altavista, you've got Darius Johnson, who misses a free throw. Josh Walker, Juan Thornhill, Canavis Jones, and Eric Poindexter. Pass across the floor and in for Morgan, who sticks it in. 15-13.
Surry can really get up and go in transition, Bob. Just a missed free throw there, and they take advantage, come down on the fast break, and score very quickly.
Thornhill with the basketball. Gets over to Poindexter. Eric, bounce pass to Darius. Johnson in the corner, lobs it back out for Poindexter. Now to Thornhill. 2:45 to go in quarter one. Colonels up by a deuce.
Yeah, it looks like a 1-3-1 zone for the Cougars. They're stretching it out, trying to trap, and they do get a steal here.
Taken away by Bailey. Bailey the kick. Three-pointer up by Surry. Front iron, no good. Rebound there is Tawan. Marsh tried a triple. He's got one. Tried for a second one. Couldn't get that one. Thornhill over to Poindexter. Now back to Juan. Colonel's looking to check in. Too fresh. On the next dead ball. Poindexter drives in. Gets it to Walker. Walker kick back. Thornhill drives. Thornhill takes it inside. Marsh with the block, and it's going to stay to Altavista.
And if the Colonels can pass it around the perimeter, get that zone to stretch out, Bob, that opens up the middle. When Surry brings 3 guys out to the perimeter, well, all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 Colonel defenders down low, and there's only 2 Surry defenders to guard them. So that's the key. Stretch that zone out, make it spread out, and have to cover the whole court.
2:08 to go. Darius gets the inbounds pass. Now over to Poindexter. Poindexter, maul back to Johnson's and Thornhill on. Michi for 3, left side. And again, the members bounce. Even carries to Salem for Maulback.
Michi Maulback off front iron, then it just trickled in over the rim. Great three-pointer there by Michi.
No good from Surry. It's going the other way to Altavista. You know, we always talk about the sensational sophomores. It's almost becoming the Fab Four.
It really is. Those 4 sophomores getting things done. Surry going to throw a little full-court pressure here, Bob. Under 2 minutes to go in the first. Altavista leading 18-13.
Poindexter with it. Now over to Maulback. Maulback kicks. Demetrius with the jumper from the right side. No good. Maulback tries to come in and fly for the rebound. And that basketball is going back the other way. And Surry's coach, Jake Mintz, coming all the way off the bench to go behind the water coolers to get that one, as Richard Hubbard is going to check in for Altavista.
Yeah, he tracks it down. Hubbard back in the ball game. He joins Michi Maulback, Demetrius Johnson, Eric Poindexter, and Darius Johnson. So first little rest here for Juan Thornhill.
Little with the basketball. 1:29 to go. Gives it off. Drive. Now going to kick inside. The shot is going to go up and return. I think Poindexter might have gotten a piece of DeAndre Davis' shot. Now over to Maulback.
Was there. Darius was there. It was great team defense. Altavista had everybody collapsing on the basketball.
Maulback in trouble, and timeout Altavista this time. So they'll take a 30-second timeout. So will we. 68 seconds to go here in quarter one. Altavista leads 18-13 against Surry on KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
1:08 to go in quarter one from the Salem Civic Center. 18-13 Altavista. You know, Haney, I bring this up a little bit ad nauseum during the state tournaments, but if you haven't been in a situation like this all year, most of these arenas do have open air behind them.
Well, it's like we said last night. It is an arena. It's not a gym anymore. It's an arena, and it is a lot more space and a bigger crowd. And you heard Sidney Morris talking about the depth perception.
Hubbard gets it off to Darius Johnson. Plays into it. Thornhill hit the deck after the pass the other way. 20-13. Ball's loose. Altavista trying to pick it up. Johnson gets it off to Maulback. Michi's going to drive down. Michi lays it up. Tried to get the contact. Couldn't get it. Demetrius finishes.
Wow, Demetrius skying up to get the rebound and then the putback, never touching the ground. Great hustle play there by Demetrius and Dimitri Maulback. Really getting after it here. Colonels threatening to stretch it to a double-digit lead.
Little drives in. Is going up. 2 shots. Johnson. Darius, that is, led that play kind of with the steal and the loose ball pickup. And I think Michi was trying to get the contact so much that he really got it out of concentration with the layup.
Yeah, foul this time is on Michi Maulback, and he expected some contact on the other end. And I think you're right. When the contact didn't come, that threw off his layup opportunity. But luckily, Demetrius there would clean it up. First free throw good by Surry County. 29.3 ticks left to go here in the first quarter, Bob.
22-14. The thing about it, too, once you get to this point, all the officials are different, so I don't think you can look for one thing, per se, as Thornhill is going to be fouled coming up the floor because you don't know how guys call things where they are.
Right, and we've talked about that. Each association likes to focus on different things. We saw that up at Spotswood. We saw that last night at the Siegel Center. Just something you got to get used to. It's like in baseball, got to get used to an umpire strike zone.
4th team foul against Surry. 17 seconds left. Thornhill with the rock. Gives it off to Hubbard. Richard's going to pull it back out. Hubbard falls down. Hubbard keeps the dribble. Lost it on the fall down, though. Surry comes away with it. Cougars driving. No kick off to Little. Bailey's out at the three-point line. Bailey catches. Bailey drives in. Bailey doesn't see the clock, nor does Surry. And that will do it for quarter one. So the Cougars squander an opportunity to cut into this 8-point lead That's where it stays, 22-14 after one. Altavista on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Malbec into Hubbard. Now off to Thornhill. Second quarter underway. 8 minutes starts the second quarter, and we are that much closer to the Subway halftime show. 22-14. Altavista in front. Thornhill drives inside. He's inside the arc. Now we'll pull it back out. Passes over to Demetrius. Johnson flips back to Juan. Thornhill, free throw line. Jumpers up. Off the right hand, no good. Off the rim, no good. And it's going to come down to Surry, and there was going to be a foul on Altavista. It's on Darius Johnson. I think that's number 1 on Johnson, and that will be number 3 on Altavista.
Yeah, Darius looked like he went over the back of Bailey there. Couldn't think of his name for a second. It was Bailey, who's got some good hair going too. He had position with the box out, and Darius got some clarification from the official as well. And nice when you get the officials that'll communicate with you and let you know what you did wrong.
First foul for the Colonels inside the paint. The other 2 came up top with Malbec and Hubbard, each committing 1. Timothy Marsh with the basketball. Marsh kicks out. Bailey, not wanting to step on the line, fires a 3 from about 5 feet back. And Marsh is going to be fouled by Hubbard. It's Hubbard's second. And I think Marsh was in the act of passing, so that won't get him any shots. It'll be on the floor. Hubbard's second.
Yeah, 4-team fouls for Altavista. Surry has 4 as well. Altavista leading 22-14. Just a minute into the second quarter.
Little drives in, no good. Juan comes down with the rebound. Thornhill hugged by Little, and that will send Juan the other way, and that's the 5th team foul against the Cougars.
Yeah, Juan's got 3 rebounds early here by my count, Mr. Alvis, and we always talk about he's one of the best rebounding guards around. 7:09 to play here in the second quarter.
You see that so often, too, when a guy misses a shot that he feels like he should get. He commits that foul in the backcourt, 94 feet away from the hole.
You're right, trying to make up for what he did wrong, and you're right, it happens so often.
You'll get another chance later, young man. Hubbard off to Malbec, left side. Michi drives in. Michi tried to give it to Darius. Good job by Bailey to step in the passing lane. Derek Bailey Jr. drives, gives it off. Now back out. Timothy Marsh will fire from 3. Uncontested. Front iron, no good. Little with the board. Little takes it up. Soft little roll. Not going to fall down. And rebound is going to go out of bounds and all the way down to the other end of the floor. And our friend from the Altavista Journal will toss it back down.
Yeah, Matt from the Altavista Journal. Johnny on the spot this time. Gets us the basketball back. Altavista still leading 22-14. 6:39 to play here in the second quarter. They've been playing some good defense. They can't seem to get a rebound, though.
5 seconds. Marsh gets them down. The play I always liked there is Hubbard was kind of guarding the inbound but had his back turned. Why not give an old pass off Richard's back and see if he can get back in with it?
Well, it's easier said than done.
Right.
I mean, I think when the internal clock says that you're about 4.9 seconds, you may as well try it at that point, though.
Demetrius drives. That's like the trick shot people like me. We like that little stuff.
Yeah.
Ball back with it. Michi guarded by Little. Michi giving up a little height as well. Michi all the way around, though. Left hand layup. Does not phase Malbec as he seemed like he was in driver's edge, just weaving through the cone.
Absolutely. Wheeling and dealing. Michi Malbec finishing off with the left hand. Good stuff there.
Marsh hoisted over Hubbard. No good. Darius Skies for the rebound now off to Thornhill. Colonels have stretched the lead to 10. Their largest of the evening so far. Thornhill drives all the way down, leaves it for Malbec. Michi for 3. Count that one. Dang. You could tell that was going in when it left the hands, I thought. 27-14.
I said Michi was gaining confidence from behind the arc. He's getting confidence from everywhere. He's playing some inspired basketball. He's got some defense going here that leads to a turnover.
Colonels are going to get it back. And, Michi's that type of guy. I think if you're on the other team, you can't stand him, but you want him on your team because Michi does a lot of the little things that gets guys victories.
Oh, absolutely. He's knocking down the threes. He's driving to the basket. He's playing defense. He's already made some great passes. 2 assists early. 27-14. Colonel's really stretching the lead out. Boy, if they could get another bucket here, how big would that be, Bob? I mean, I'm not going to say it's over, but if they keep this run going.
Demetrius gets it off the pass, and Johnson lays in two. I think if you're Jake Mintz, you've got to think about stopping this Colonel's momentum right now at some point.
You got to think about a timeout, and the pass was from Michi Malbeck. Another assist for number 1.
Off balance shot, no good. Darius rebounds, and you cannot come down one and done if you're Surry. Thornhill with it. He's guarded by Davis. Thornhill rotates that dribble from left to right hand. Now Juan with the left, tried to kick it out, no good. Surry's going to run back. Cougars with it. Malbeck takes the contact, no call there. Thornhill with the rebound, though. Now over to Michi.
Great job by Michi to get back in a hurry, and then great job by Juan to get back and get the rebound.
Malbeck all the way down, left-hand layup, no good. Demetrius on the follow, can't get it to fall. Rebound, and Demetrius goes to the stripe. I'll tell you, if Johnson had gotten that, this Colonel's delegation here would have brought the house down.
Oh, yeah, he almost got the put back there, but he gets fouled. He'll get to shoot a pair of free throws. Substitutes coming in for the Colonels. And, it's been a fast up-tempo game, so you got to figure out that this is going to have to use some substitutes. Josh Walker checking in. So is your boy Navy Jones and Eric Poindexter. So 3 fresh faces on the court right now for Altavista. First one goes in for Demetrius, 30-14. Colonels up by 16.
We always talk about this, Haney. When you're down by more than you've scored, that's a bad sign.
We talked about that in the Heritage game, and that's what's going on right now for Surry, and they're down a little bit more. Second freebie in for Demetrius Johnson. 31-14 lead for Altavista.
Down 17. Surry's got 14. Turnell Johnson with the basketball. Johnson off to Little. Now to Bailey. And if you're the Cougars, you can't just launch threes to get back in this one. A lot of basketball left to be played. Basketball in the hands of Johnson. Johnson gives it off. Surry backs down an Altavista player. No good on that. Rebound is loose. Picked up. And it's going to go down from Justin Williams. 31-16.
First basket for Surry in a long time there. And it didn't come without effort. Altavista's defense has been very good, Bob.
Thornhill over to Navy Jones. Navy will pull it up top. And I'll tell you, from Navy to where he came up during that William Campbell game to where he is now, he does not look uncomfortable with basketball in hand.
No, he's pretty at ease out there, and he loves to get in the mix and play defense and score a little bit, too.
Poindexter with the basketball, gives it off to Navy. Canavis gives it back to Thornhill. Juan thought about 3. He'll think about a long 2. He'll take the long 2. It won't fall down. Rebound comes down to Surry. Johnson gets up the court in a hurry as well. He's guarded by Jones. Johnson comes around. Johnson gives off to Bailey. Bailey drives in. Bailey's runner. No good. Navy Jones goes upstairs for it. Can't get the board. Second try by Surry. No good. Off the hands of Demetrius Johnson. Picked up by Eric Poindexter. And Poindexter fouled and going right towards Robert Anderson's laptop. And that laptop is pretty expensive with the fingers it's typing on, too. Mr. Anderson, one of the deans from the Roanoke Times.
Yeah, I got some more substitutes checking in now for Altavista. First action of the night for Jacob McClure. Michi Malbeck is back in the game. And, with as well Michi was playing, you had to figure that little spell on the bench was just to catch your breath and get a sip of water. Michi's putting on a show here in Salem. Eric Poindexter looking to put on a free throw shooting show. Got a 1-on-1 here from the stripe.
A lot of people say, hey, we'll play a lot of guys. Just go out there for 4 minutes. Poindexter, depth perception might have gotten to him on that one as he misses the whole thing. But a lot of guys will say, give me 4 minutes. Then we'll get you a rest for for a minute, and then we'll get back out there.
Yeah, sometimes when you're playing good, though, that rest is only about 20 seconds. So next dead ball, you're back in.
Right. Coach, I thought you said 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's been 30, Michi. Little with the basketball. Guarded by Johnson. Now Malbeck will pick him up. They'll give Williams some room. Thornhill guarding Williams. Williams spins, tries to get rid of Juan, cannot. And I think Thornhill is going to be called over the back.
Yeah, tough play there. Juan just kind of caught in a bad position, going for the rebound. It's hard to resist the temptation to go for the basketball, even when you don't have position. 3:14 left here in the second quarter. 31-16, Altavista leading.
Marsh looking to inbound. Marsh finds somebody. It's Little in the backcourt. Little between the circles, guarded by Malbeck. Little looking for somewhere to go. Switches to the left hand. Now off. Gives it over to Marsh. Marsh finds Little. Little cut in front of his teammate Bailey. Darius blocks the shot. Gets the rebound and secures it and is fouled. Little is going to be the culprit on this one.
Second block of the night for Darius. He got the rebound or block, whatever you want to call it, and then he was harassed. Whistle probably could have come out a little sooner because everybody was draped all over Darius. And now Darius Johnson heading back to the free throw line after the foul. 18 fouls on Surry, Bob.
Johnson looking to push this lead from 15 back to a number where Surry is down by more than they've scored. Johnson cannot as he misses the free throw. 1-1 variety. Surry down the other way. Williams with it. Wild shot up. No good. The ball is going to bounce around a little bit. And
timeout, Surry.
It's going to be a timeout, Surry. I thought the ball was in the air when that was called. I was looking around. I thought that was a foul. It's going to be a timeout for the Cougars. We'll take it as well. 2:45 to go. 31-16. Altavista in quarter one. Back after this on KD Country.
If credit card processing is important to your business, I can help. I'm Ramonda Davis of First National Bank, and I'm your local e-commerce officer for merchant card and other electronic business products. Local means I live in Central Virginia. I'm ready to come see you and respond quickly to what you need. Local means I'm focused just on your business needs. For the latest in electronic payment technology and competitive pricing, contact me, Ramonda Davis. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
2 minutes, 42 seconds exists in half number one. Little falls down, picked up by Demetrius Johnson. Johnson 1-on-2. Johnson shakes the defender. Thornhill with the rebound and just drops it in the hole for two. 33-16 Altavista.
Juan was way up above the rim. I think if he'd got a grip on the basketball, he would have dunked it, but he had to just settle for, like you said, drop in over the front of the rim there.
Bailey gets two in. Tight defense on him, but Bailey gets it to fall down. 33-18.
Yeah, highly contested shot there by Bailey. You know, Bob, remember when Altavista trailed 7-2 in this ball game early? It's been all Colonels since then. I think they took over the lead with about 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Thornhill with it. Under two now to go in the first half of play. Thornhill, no look. Darius Johnson couldn't get to it quick enough. Little up with it. Demetrius tries to go up, and Little gets two to go down. 33-20. Surry trying to crawl back in this one.
Yeah, here comes Surry. They've cut it to a 33-20, 13-point deficit. And I mentioned it was all Colonels. Now it's a little bit all Cougars.
Malbeck lost it, but knocked out off Surry.
We know basketball is a game of momentum and a game of runs. Surry, their whole team clapping and stomping on the floor. Even Coach Mintz was down on the floor smacking the hardwood. You don't usually see the coach getting down on all fours.
I don't fault Thornhill on that no look to Darius. I think he was just trying to get rid of the defense and shake a defender. Navy goes up, and that's going to be a jump ball. The arrow reads Cougars.
Yeah, good defense by Surry. Altavista thought they caught the Cougars over-rotating in that zone, but they recovered and were able to get the jump ball mutual possession tie-up on Navy Jones.
Tell you, this minute 28 is real big for Surry, I think, and you could argue on the other side big for Altavista, but I think the Cougars would love to get this under 10.
Yeah, Surry's got some momentum right now, Bob. We know basketball is a game of runs, and Surry certainly got a good thing going on right now. Let's see if the Colonels can respond.
One Region A team is one on this floor today. Essex knocked off Dan River. Altavista doesn't want to be the second foil. Little drives all the way down and lays it up off the window and in. 33-22.
I think if there was more time in the half, you'd see Coach Carolero burn a timeout, but he figures we're down to just about 60 seconds. Let's let it ride.
What a catch by Darius. Thornhill went over the top. Johnson gets the second try and gets it to go. I'll tell you, Darius really using the football skills on that one.
Yeah, really had to soar up to catch the high pass. Good play there.
And the quarterback with the gutsy pass as well, 35-22. Surry comes down. Johnson smacks that one back. Marsh gets it off, and his second try is going to go down for number 32, Smith.
Darius had a nice block there, but Surry was persistent. They stayed after it. And here comes that little half-court trap they've been running, Bob.
Malbeck with the basketball. Malbeck tries to get rid of it. Surry will come away with it. And it's Marsh with 20 seconds to go. Little with it. Cougars can't make that clock mistake either that they made in quarter one, Kyle.
Yeah, didn't get a last-second try up. They're down to 12 seconds. I think they're going to run a set play here, see if Altavista can get a stop going into the locker room.
Little guarded by Malbeck. Little's going to come around the right side on the screen. Little drives all the way to the hole. Little falls into Thornhill and
leaves the jump ball.
Nope. Oh, yes, it is. It's a foul.
A foul on Darius Johnson. Wow.
That's number 2.
Tough call there. You know, the official pointed up like normal jump ball signal. Maybe he was just pointing a 1-0 for Darius. 0.8 seconds left.
Yeah, we're pointing up to say 2 shots. He was going up with it. Smith.
Normally you point at the foul stripe. But anyway, first free throw up and in. That makes a 10-point Altavista lead. Cougars got a chance to cut it to single digits here with 0.8 seconds left. If you're Altavista, you got to box out. You can't allow them to get a tip in on a missed free throw.
Smith gets his money's worth as that one shook around the rim before falling. Second try for Devion Smith. It's up. It's in. 35-26. Thornhill is going to do the honors. Long ball. Juan gets a long pass. Caught by Darius Johnson. Falling away. Can't get it to fall. But all things considered, Altavista at least got to look at it. So we've played one half here from the Salem Civic Center. 35-26. Altavista over Surry. We're back after this with the Subway halftime show on 105.5 KD Country.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
One half of play in the books from the Civic Center in Salem, Virginia, 35-26. Bob Alvis and Kyle Haney alongside, and KH really, basketball is a game of runs. No truer than the first half. Altavista got down a little bit early, 7-2, then got back in and really took control. But hey, here comes Surry. The last 3 minutes of that half.
Yeah, got it down to a 9-point deficit. Colonels were up 17 at one point, Bob, and now it's just a 9-point Altavista lead, 35-26. Surry, very good response there from them in the latter stages of the second quarter. So it was an interesting second quarter, to say the least, because Altavista still won the quarter 13-12, but it seemed like it was almost Surry's quarter the way they came back there in the last few minutes of it.
Give me the inside in the Surry locker room if you're in there.
Well, I think Coach Jake Mintz is probably pretty pleased with the way his team has battled. Now, I think Surry's going to have to make some adjustments. We've seen how hot Michi Malbeck's hand has been. We've seen both Johnson brothers do some damage on the low block there. I don't know. Maybe the adjustment for Surry is going to a man-to-man because they played a zone primarily in the first half. Certainly I think there could be some adjustments by Surry. They could change some things up here in the second half.
Well, and, it looks like they've got the horses to, if they want to go man-to-man and press, they can go man-to-man and press. If you're Altavista, take me inside maybe that locker room of what you would say, hey, keep it up, and, hey, we need to work on this.
Yeah, I think Coach Carlero feels pretty good. I mean, obviously the game plan is working, and you feel like you've gotten great production out of everybody. Maybe he'll caution his guys, hey, let's not get overconfident, because maybe that's what happened when Altavista got up 15, 16, 17 points, Bob. Maybe they sort of put it on cruise control for a second there, and then the blink of an eye, Surry's back in it. So I think Coach Carlero probably not going to make any drastic wholesale changes, maybe tweak some things, an adjustment here or there, but I think he'll urge his guys to keep playing hard and finish off this ball game.
Take a break and come back with some statistical analysis on the Subway halftime show. Altavista leads Surry County 35-26, Group A Division I state quarterfinal here on 105.5 KD Country.
Chris Anderson is the newest State Farm agent in Altavista, and he wants you to know that he's there for you. With the Discount Double Check, Chris Anderson will help you find the best price for your car, home, or life insurance. Check out Chris Anderson today, Main Street in Altavista. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
McDonald's is a proud supporter of the community it serves daily with mouth-watering Big Macs and golden fries. In the spirit of community, McDonald's is pleased to sponsor the Altavista basketball teams as they battle through the tournaments. Good luck. McDonald's is the best place to celebrate a Colonel win, and they always invite you in for a tasty meal. Don't forget to try the new Fish McBites. McDonald's, Main Street in Altavista, cheering the Colonels on to victory.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista and Surry County locked in a humdinger here at Salem, 35-26. Colonels up by 9. They led by 17 at one point, and Surry really chipped away at the end of the first half. Let's look at the scoring totals. First for Surry, Timothy Marsh has scored 3. Derek Bailey with 2. Donnie Little with 9. 4 from Devion Smith. 2 from Tracy Williams, and Justin Williams has 6. For Altavista, Michi Malbeck has chipped in 11. Juan Thornhill has scored 4. Demetrius Johnson 8. Brother Darius has 12. And Altavista has a 35-26 lead. KH, the good thing about once you get to the big levels of state quarterfinals, state semis, state finals, you get printed out statistics. You have studied these thoroughly. What sticks out at you?
Well, I mean, you got a couple things to look at, Bob. Altavista winning the rebounding battle, 18-12. We talked about that all year. It seems like the Colonels always out-rebound their opponents. If you do that, you're going to win more games. Altavista a lot better with the field goal percentage as well. They're right at 61%. Surry is only shooting 35%. So the Colonels 14 of 23 from the field. That's important that they're shooting well. And some of that is a byproduct of the layups and the putbacks they're getting. I mean, your percentage is going to be pretty high when you're shooting 1- and 2-footers all night. So it should be a little bit higher than Surry's. And also that's a byproduct of Altavista's defense. They're not letting Surry slash to the basket. The Cougars are having to settle for mid-range jumpers, long-range jumpers, three-pointers. So that's why you get the difference in the field goal percentages between the two teams.
Yeah, one of the numbers that stuck out to me when I was reading is second chance points. Altavista 16 to Surry's 4. I mean, if you're going to get a second chance, you got to make the most of it.
Yeah, and the second chance feeds right in with what you and I were talking about, as far as rebounding goes, and then the field goal percentage. Altavista is getting more offensive rebounds when they come down. If they do even come down on their feet with the ball, they're only 1 or 2 feet away from the basket after the rebound. You stick it back up in for 2. So therefore, both your numbers go up. And then those second chance numbers go up. So everything right now looking good for the Colonels, but they're not out of the woods yet. They only lead by 9 here on the Subway halftime show.
One more game to go tonight at the Civic Center. Colonels want to make sure that they got one more game at least left in their tournament bid, as they will. Winner of this one will take on J.I. Burden next week at the Siegel Center. Game time scheduled for 1 o'clock on Thursday. When we come back, we will have the start of the second half right after this 1-minute timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Want a tire that offers enhanced safety for you and your family? See me, your Michelin dealer. Whatever you drive, chances are I have a set of Michelin tires that delivers the safe ride you want for you and your passengers. Michelin's advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds can provide exceptional grip, even on the wettest roads. So drop in today, and I'll help you get the drop on rain this season.
Find the right Michelin tire and get expert service at Perkins Twin Tire Altavista and online at PerkinsTwinTire.com.
Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
First class here at the Salem Civic Center. Altavista looking to punch a first-class ticket. Got to be a little leery of those charter buses at this point in the season, Haiti. 2 weeks in a row, Dean Hubbard's had a headache with that. 35-26, Altavista up 9 against the Cougars from Surry County.
Might have to go back to the old cheese wagon. I will tell you, it feels like home, though. A lot of Colonel fans have made the trip. The pep band is here, so that gives it the old Altavista feel. Cheerleaders are here as well. And again, Altavista's got a good contingent. They want to see the Colonels hold on. They lead by 9 now. Second half about to get underway.
Michi will inbound right in front of us. Smallback throws it in the backcourt to Thornhill.
Looks like Surry has gone into a man-to-man defense, Bob.
And right away a foul. Marsh picks one up 5 seconds in.
Yeah. Well, that can be the problem sometimes with a man-to-man defense. You tend to foul a little bit more because when you get beat, sometimes you don't have help. With that zone defense, you just pack it in and you just sort of stand there. You don't pick up as many fouls.
And, here we are mouthing about Surry should be in a man-to-man defense. Who knows how much man they play during the year? I mean, that was a point I was going to make.
Right.
Sometimes you're getting out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily saying they should. I was just saying that's an option that they could go to. They do have a turnover here.
Basketball taken away. Little comes away with it. I said we mouthing. I was putting myself in the boat, too. Marsh looking to hit a 3 from the boat. No good. Rebound, and right into the Surry bench goes Johnson and a Surry player, Smith. Basketball launched for 3 from Surry, no good. Rebounded by Altavista's Thornhill. Juan heads south. Altavista to our left here in the second half of play. Johnson goes right around Marsh for 2. Darius sticks in 2 and ups that lead to double digits.
Good play there by Darius Johnson. It starts because of the dribble penetration from Juan Thornhill. He breaks down the defense. Everybody has to collapse to him. Then the bounce pass over to Darius.
37-26. Little with it. Little gives back to Bailey. Bailey trying to lose Demetrius Johnson. Bailey puts one up. No good. Rebound comes down to Demetrius. Johnson waiting for traffic to clear. Gets it off to Thornhill. Thornhill over to Hubbard, left side. Hubbard throws back to Juan. Thornhill, really a student of the game, Kyle. We see him in a lot of girls' games. You heard Coach Carlero talking about the Juan really soaking in that highlight video from 03. So Juan, a historical student here of the game, and Marsh repeats history from just a few minutes ago as he picks up another foul.
Yeah, he's a smart, cerebral player. He gets fouled there, and he immediately heads over to talk to Coach Carlero just to get a little insight. And Juan definitely knows his history, and he knows his basketball. He's the kind of guy you want as your point guard or your quarterback out there.
Well, he's cerebral, but the physical aspects aren't too bad either. Malbeck leaves it inside, and Darius Johnson drops in his 4th point of this first half. Altavista leads 39-26. Surry back the other way. Johnson having to play defense stationary, really, as he's got 2 fouls. And Keon Ellis kind of got Darius out of position as well and drops into 39-28.
Again, Surry gets down quick. They don't really give you a very good chance to set up your half-court defense because they do come down in a big rush. And like you said, Darius just caught a little bit out of position. Wasn't much he could do there. And doing anything other than what he did do would have risked bringing a foul.
Altavista will take it with Juan Thornhill. Juan in double team trouble, gives it off to Demetrius. Johnson right in front of us, double team. That pass was probably headed into the backcourt to Juan. Little comes away with it off to Ellis. Juan comes from the swipe from back, but cannot get it. Ellis lays in two. And it's a 39-30 game and a timeout by Altavista. We will observe the stoppage as well. It's a 1-minute break here in quarter three. 5:37 left. Altavista 39, Surry 30 on KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney here from the Salem Civic Center, Altavista. Burns a timeout, 5:37 to go. Kyle, they're up 39-30.
Yeah, the turnovers have been problematic for the Colonels. We mentioned all the stats and the things they were leading in. Well, they actually turned the ball over more than Surry did in the first half, and they've turned it over more than the Cougars here in the second half, too.
Colonels going the wrong way on this zone pressure. Thornhill lobs it up to Demetrius, pardon me. Johnson drives in, loses his basketball, and they're going to say it goes out of bounds off Altavista.
Turnover again for the Altavista Colonels. I mentioned they've been problematic. Altavista's going to have to take care of the basketball. That's especially important when you have a lead and the other team's trying to pressure you and get the basketball back.
I don't know if flustered is the word I would use right now, but the Colonels kind of getting out of their domain.
Lost a little bit of their rhythm that they had earlier in the half.
Bailey gives it off to Williams. Justin Williams can't find anywhere to go, so he'll return it out to Bailey on the perimeter. Surry could cut this to 6. Back door to Little underneath the hole, threw it up. I don't know if he was trying to get a foul or whatnot, but there's going to be a foul there. It's on Malbeck.
Yeah, it's going to send Surry to the free throw line. Keon Ellis will shoot a pair, 39-30. Altavista leading. Second foul on Michi Malbeck. And third on Altavista as a team this half. 5 minutes to play here in the third period.
Ellis for the first of two. Free throw up. Goes down, 39-31. Malbeck's going to come out, take a seat next to Chad Ward. Eric Poindexter in this one.
Yeah, on the court right now you have Poindexter, Hubbard, Thornhill, and both Darius and Demetrius Johnson.
Second by Ellis. Even 5 minutes on the clock and can't get that one go down. 39-31 Altavista. Like we mentioned, less than 5 to go now in quarter three. Juan Thornhill over to Eric Poindexter. Poindexter dribbling, trying to get in the front court. Picked up his dribble, now bounces it to Darius, and Johnson's going to pick up a foul. That's number 3.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I don't know if maybe I didn't have a great angle. Possibly Darius lowered the shoulder a little bit, but it certainly didn't look like the defensive player had his feet set. 8-point lead for the Colonels, down to 4:40 to play here in the third period.
Well, the drum is not sounding real good right now because rhythm has definitely been lost for Altavista. They still lead by 8. Little with it over to Bailey. Bailey drives. Bailey underneath, and that might be on Darius. If so, that's real bad news. Real bad news.
Yeah, that means Darius has 4. It is. They're flashing it up on the board. 4 personal fouls for Darius Johnson. Mike Carlero's got a decision to make now. Do you leave Darius in and let him play?
No, I don't think so, because he held up a hand saying, we got some help coming.
Yep, Jacob McClure at the scoring table ready to check in here after the first free throw. First free throw does go in. 39-32. Bob, don't forget about the KD Country Instant Auction. 1 week from today, March 9th. Starts around 9 o'clock. Thousands of dollars worth of items. The food alone will make your mouth water, I know.
39-32 as Johnson sits, and I think Mike Carlero knew that he had to get him out of there, but just took the few seconds, held up the hand, saying, I got somebody coming in. McClure is that man. He joins Thornhill, Demetrius, Poindexter, and Richard Hubbard. Poindexter on the floor. Now over to Thornhill. Thornhill bounces to Hubbard. Hubbard returns it back to Juan. You know I get a little antsy when those passes come near me, Haney. Poindexter with it.
Surry's gone back to the zone. They're trying to trap and double team, in some cases triple team.
Thornhill over to Hubbard. Now to Poindexter. And this could be classic Altavista. Just move that basketball around a little bit. See if you can find a hole. Richard for three from the corner. It's going to bounce around, not going to fall down. And now a foul against Thornhill.
Yeah, Altavista's really racking up a lot of fouls here in the last 3 minutes, Bob. It's kind of hard to imagine, but they've all come here in the last little bit. Looks like it's going to be 2-on-1 Thornhill.
I don't know if there's a magnet drawn to Altavista in a foul right now or what, but I mean, and some of these, the Colonels are getting their dollars and cents worth. Some of these, it looks like,
Yeah, I'm with you. It's, and like we said, different officiating crews focus on different things. Got to learn to play with it, though, if you're a player.
Little stripped by Poindexter. Second try is going to go down off the window and in. 39-34.
Down to a 5-point lead for Altavista. It's really been all Surry since about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. They've kept the momentum coming out of the locker room.
Altavista led by as much as 17. Thornhill guarded in. Thornhill out of real estate. Stepped on the inline, and it's going back to Surry.
Yeah, either he stepped on or the ball bounced on it. Either way, it's a turnover. Surry basketball. Mike Carlero has burned one timeout during this Surry run. 3:23 to go here in the third quarter. Bailey is still up 5.
Bailey going to inbound. When you get to this point in the year, neither team has really seen the officiating crew. You can't use somebody from Region A. You can't use the Colonial at this point. Little with the basketball. Guarded by Malbeck, who's back in. Michi, Demetrius, three-pointer up by Bailey. No good. Front iron rebounded by Surry. Marsh with it. Marsh dribbles and drives. Lost it. Hubbard trying to tie him up. And a foul on Hubbard.
Wow, not a whole lot in that. And again, it's one of those situations where we've seen more contact in that with no whistle. But this time the referee's trying to tighten the leash a little bit here in the second half. And it's his third personal foul for Richard Hubbard. 5 team fouls on Altavista in the half.
Little with it. Little gets it out. Marsh for 3. Triples up, triples in. Down to 2, Kyle. 39-37. Altavista has not scored in a good long while since Darius had those quick 4 points.
Yep.
They haven't gotten anything else.
Colonels have not scored in a long time. They've had the lead for a long time, though, and they were up as much as 17 at one point in the first half.
Malbeck with it. Michi, bounce pass into Demetrius. Demetrius turns around, heads to the basket, and gets it to go down.
Nice. Good play there, and really something the Altavista Colonels needed. Nice pass from Demetrius, nice pass from Malbeck, and then a nice finish from Demetrius.
Little, he's going to get called for the offensive.
And guess who took the charge, Bob? Yes, no, you're exactly right. Jake the Snake, Jacob McClure, laying on the ground there with the fist pump because he took a nice charge. So all the fouls aren't going against the Colonels. Nice play there by Jacob McClure.
But they came in a cluster, Kyle.
They did.
It went about 4 fouls right in, bang, bang, bang to Altavista. And it's not a situation where things are dirty, and I don't think the officials have to get the game under control or anything. But Altavista just picked up a lot quickly. Thornhill, I think, might have been in the front court. It looked like Malbeck threw it backwards, but I think Juan, it looked like, I thought he stepped in the front court, at least when he landed.
I don't know if he had reestablished himself in the front court yet. If you take off from the back court and catch the ball in the air, technically you're still back court. They called it a backcourt violation. Hard to say without the advantage of an instant replay what really happened. Either way, it's a turnover.
Little with the basketball. Gives it off. Ellis, no good. Rebounded by Thornhill. Thornhill leaves it up for Malbeck. Michi's going to come down, lays it up. It won't fall down. Rebounded by Marsh. Surry down the other way. That'll roll out. Rebounded by Thornhill.
Thornhill's really done a number on the glass tonight, Bob. I think he's approaching double digits in rebounding numbers. Got at least 8 or 9.
Find out afterwards. Yep. Smallback doubled. Gives it off to McClure. McClure couldn't handle it. Now McClure picks it back up. They're going to call it travel on McClure. This has not been a quarter that Altavista wants to put in the time capsule.
Nope, slid the feet a little bit there, did McClure, but you're right. Not a lot going Altavista's way right now. They did get a big bucket from Demetrius Johnson about 35 seconds ago, but this has really been Surry's quarter. 1:25 to play in the third quarter. Altavista up 4, 41-37.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the one thing that's still going their way. They got a bigger number than Surry right now. Minute 18 to go.
Malbeck looking for a steal right here, and he's going to get whistled for a foul. Tough call there. It was, a play where Malbeck certainly was reaching in, but hard to say how much body he got of the player from Surry. It's 3 on Malbeck. So now the foul trouble starting to accumulate a little bit for the Altavista Colonels. 16 fouls. Next one puts Surry in the bonus.
Malbeck and Hubbard each have 3. Darius saddled with 4. Williams with the basketball. Williams spins. Kick out. Marsh for a triple. 3-pointers up. It's off the side of the iron. No good. Rebounded by your man, Juan Thornhill. He has been on the glass like clockwork tonight.
By my count, he does have 10 rebounds, Bob. 5 here in the third quarter. He had 5 in the first half.
I always say trust the Haney count on rebounds. Thornhill throws it off. Stolen away by Little. Gives it off to Marsh. Marsh to Bailey. Bailey drives in. Bailey one-handed pass. Williams, I think, thought about it. Opted not to. Marsh will get it back. Marsh to the free throw line. Kick out to Bailey. Now to Little. Surry might be holding for 1.
Might be. Down to 30 seconds left. And you did see Coach Jake Mintz hold up one finger. Maybe that's a play, or maybe that means one shot.
Little gets it off to Williams. Williams between the legs dribble. Now Williams drives all the way in. Turns around. No good. Rebounded by Williams. Williams takes it back up. That won't fall. Rebounded by Ellis, and Thornhill just packed the basketball. Jump ball. It'll keep it to Surry County, but I love the composure of Juan. Juan's like, I got it.
He stood straight up, put his hands right on top of the basketball, like you said, packed it straight down, ends up resulting in a jump ball. 13.4 seconds left. Surry ball.
Might have to call him Cool Hand Juan. Williams with the basketball. Guarded by the aforementioned Williams. Left him. Williams gets it off to Ellis. Offensive.
Another charge taken by Jacob McClure. He is fired up, and he should be. Hadn't played as much as we're used to, but boy, the minutes that he has played, Bob, he's made them count. 2 big charges he's taken. Altavista's got 7 seconds to get a shot up.
Thornhill gets off to Malbeck. Michi in the front court over to McClure. Jake the Snake for 3. Triple is up. It's not going to go down, and that'll do it for the third quarter. 8 minutes left on the road to Richmond. Altavista looking to try to survive this one. They're up 41-37 over Surry here on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
I'm Todd Hall, president of First National Bank. For over 100 years, we have proudly served our customers in Central Virginia, and we're excited about continuing to provide financial solutions into the future. At First National Bank, our focus is on you, the customer, and delivering a very high level of service is our top priority. In fact, our employees are empowered to make decisions that provide you an extraordinary customer experience. So stop in one of our 8 local branches and give us a try. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista going to ride with the lineup that they had on the floor at the end of quarter 3. Malbeck, Thornhill, Hubbard, Demetrius Johnson, and Jacob McClure. Darius Johnson saddled with 4, Kyle. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I think you mentioned the lineup that they ended the third quarter with. I think this lineup brought them some stability there at the end of the third and some composure. Maybe they're starting to get the rhythm back.
Malbeck with it. Malbeck to the free throw line. Malbeck in front of it, dribbles. Can't hit the shot. Rebounded by Marsh. Marsh gets it off to Williams. Williams coming all the way down. Williams spins. Williams puts the shot up. No good. Second try is going to go up. That won't fall down either. Rebound. Still controlled by Surry, and a foul.
Could have called a jump ball, could have called a foul. Either way, there was a whole lot of contact. You probably could have blown the whistle before that as well, but you can't call everything.
It's on Hubbard, 4.
So it's 4 on Hubbard, right? So that's 2 starters for Altavista with 4 fouls, and it's 7 fouls on Altavista as a team. So this is a 1-and-1, and you see Mr. Darius Johnson headed to the scorer's table to check in.
Rest of the way, Surry's shooting.
Yep.
Smith sinks that one. Surry's only committed 14 fouls. So Altavista's got a ways to go before they see the bonus.
Right. But as we've seen with Altavista, you can rack up fouls pretty quickly. So
well, and the other thing too is Altavista can still get to the line shooting before 7 as long as they're in the act of shooting, which you could technically have shooting fouls the rest of the way too, with the way the Colonels penetrate.
Yep.
Smith no good. Basketball volleyed around a little bit, picked up by Thornhill. Juan gets it off to Malbeck. Michi drives all the way in. Michi strong layup, no good. Off to Bailey, and it's going to knock out of bounds, and it's going to stay to Altavista.
Yeah, 7:25 to go in the final period. 41-38, Altavista leads. They've led since the 4.5-minute mark in the first quarter. Just one lead change in this game so far tonight, Bob.
Malbeck to inbound. Michi throws it to Juan. Juan skies upstairs to go. Juan needs some help. Calling for it, and they're going to call Little, and that's 4 on Little, I believe.
I think you're right. According to the board, you're right anyway. And a smart play there by Juan. He could tell Little was a little out of position, pardon the pun. So a good play there by Juan to draw the contact. Still Altavista basketball, 7:20 to play. They lead by 3.
DeAndre Davis will check in. Little looked incredulous as he hit the floor like, I thought I was helped to the floor. Thornhill with it. Thornhill walks it across the timeline. Juan now picked up, doubled. Tries to get it off to McClure. McClure can't reach out for it. Here comes Marsh. Marsh will pull up, free throw line jumper. Back iron, no good. Rebounded by Demetrius. Marsh, I think, could have taken that a little bit further to the hole had he wanted. Malbeck leaves it up for Thornhill this time, and Juan bumped to the ground.
Had to be a foul called there. Juan got hit full speed by number 20, DeAndre Davis. They were both going for a loose ball. Juan got there first. And like I said, all of a sudden, Surry's up to 6 fouls. So the next one they commit, Altavista's in the bonus.
It's like the demolition derby without the cars, Kyle.
Yeah, no helmets, no cars. It's just bodies out there on the court. Both teams trying to get to Richmond to the state Final Four.
Malbeck in trouble, gives it off to McClure on the far side. McClure back to Thornhill. Thornhill whips it with a bounce to Michi. Malbeck dribbling it out. I'll tell you, Surry's defense is picking up steam, too.
They are swarming out of that trapping 1-3-1 zone.
Malbeck puts it on the floor, dribbles it, kicks it off to Darius Johnson. Elects not to take it up and gets it off to Thornhill. Thornhill over to Malbeck. Malbeck drives in. Michi's going to be fouled, and I think it was on the way up.
I think they're going to say Michu's in the act of shooting. Yeah, referee holds up 2 shots.
Regardless.
He would be shooting a 1-and-1, but the referee held up 2 shots, and it's a shooting foul. 41-38, Altavista can pad their lead. Let's see what they can do from that free throw line, Mr. Alvis.
Good news for the Colonels. They're in the bonus, too, the rest of the way. Michi hits the first.
Yeah, the foul total is equal now, so maybe our point from before was a little bit moot, although maybe Altavista's at a bit more of a disadvantage. The Dogwood District Player of the Year, Darius Johnson, saddled with 4 fouls. He's playing with 4 right now, but he's got to be careful.
Well, and you know what I like to say, Haney? I mean, if you getting to the free throw line's half the battle. If you don't make them, what's the point? Malbeck rattles that one out. Rebound comes down to Surry. Bailey drives around. Bailey puts the shot up and in. Bailey got some contact going to the hole. Then took a little jump stop and got the shot up and in. 42-40.
Yeah, Bailey charging hard towards the basket, using the sideline to get some space.
Malbeck zigzagging all the way down. Right-hand layup is in. Michi picking up steam again, 44-40.
Yeah, he's getting that look in his eye like he had in the early part of the second quarter where he was going off.
Bailey gets it down low. Smith might have moved a foot or two. So might that have play on Smith again. I think actually Ellis the first time. And it's going back over to Altavista. Juan's going to inbound it.
Yeah, it was traveling violation on Surry there. Too many steps, and it was great defense from Altavista, even though Surry got the ball in very close to the basket.
Well, and I don't encourage milking the clock necessarily here, but if you're Altavista, you can be selective. Demetrius leaves it off for his brother Darius. Darius picks it up over to McClure. McClure, 2 dribbles now. Demetrius, free throw line jumper, back iron, no good. Rebounded by Darius. Darius sticks it up and in.
Look at Darius soaring up. Great ball movement there by the Colonels. McClure found Demetrius at the foul line. That jump shot didn't go in. Darius cleaned up the missed shot with the rebound and the putback.
And it was either Ellis or Bailey that hit the floor. I don't know if that was on their own fruition or if they were helped.
Well, there's been a lot of contact out there, Alvis.
Bailey for 3, no good. I'm still recovering from that elbow you gave me earlier. Marsh picks it up and gives it back to Williams.
I don't know if it was a cheap shot or not, but I know it was justified. 5 minutes to play here in this one. Colonels lead by 6.
Wasn't called, though. Williams with it. Williams puts it on the floor with his left. Little floater. Juan Thornhill again. I'll tell you what, Juan Thornhill has been a beast on the board.
12 rebounds tonight, Bobby.
Malback zigzags his way again. Michi had that one knocked up in the air. Darius trying to pick it up. Jump ball, I'll tell you, every time there's a whistle around Darius, you got to hold your breath.
Yeah, he was in the middle of that one. They called a jump ball, though. No foul on Darius. Does give the basketball back to Surry. And I guess it goes down as another turnover for the Altavista Colonels. They've had some turnover problems in this one, Bob. They've done so great on the glass, but the turnovers have kind of negated that advantage there.
Bailey's going to be guarded by Demetrius Johnson up top. Bailey lost the basketball for a moment, now gets it back. Over to Williams. Tracy Williams using the pivot foot. Has McClure defending him. Now right wing is Bailey. Bailey guarded by Demetrius Johnson. Bailey falls down, keeps the dribble. Timeout by Surry.
Got a jump ball by one official, timeout by the other. They say they got the timeout in time.
Timeout was called right away by Coach Lentz. There will be a 1-minute timeout. We'll take it as well. 4:27 to go in quarter 4. Altavista 46, Surry 40 on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a willing part of a complete education. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista and Surry coming down to the wire, 46-40. And I'll tell you, Kyle, Cougars got some real estate, got some room to make up, but they have been chipping away at this lead.
Very, very tenacious. You know, a lot of times when a team gets down 15, 16 points like they were, they're out of it. Not Surry. They've been in it the entire game. Let me tell you somebody else that wasn't out of it, Bob. Jacob McClure. Didn't even play a full minute in the first half. Hadn't come off the court here in the fourth quarter. He's been valuable for the Colonels down the stretch.
On the floor right now, Juan Thornhill, Michi Malback, Darius and Demetrius Johnson, and Jacob McClure. Richard Hubbard has 4 fouls. Darius Johnson has 4 fouls. Michi Malback with 3, and that's the extent of the Altavista trouble. Bailey puts the head down, goes to the rack, and Demetrius is going to pick this one up. It'll be only Demetrius's first.
Yeah, you maybe could have thought Bailey lowered the shoulder a little bit, but Demetrius didn't have the feet set, that's for sure. So probably a good call. 4:18 to play, 46-40. Altavista leading by 6, and Surry can cut into it on the free throw line.
Well, you know, I talked about Altavista's got to make the most of these trips. So does Surry.
Yeah,
especially Surry, maybe.
Yeah, free throws become so imperative down the stretch, and they mean more and more as you get later on in the season. We're pretty late in the season here. This is the last game for somebody. The winning team advances on to the state Final Four next week in Richmond.
Winner will take on J.I. Burden out of Region D. Bailey sinks the second one, 46-41. If you're Surry defensively, just keep doing what you're doing.
They're getting a lot of turnovers like this, Bob, and it's really harassing Altavista.
Malback in the backcourt, doubled, loses it, picked up by Marsh. Marsh with the bounce pass. Juan Thornhill does not play for Surry. Comes away with it. Now up to Malback, right side. Marsh really just kind of left it, and Thornhill was closer. Now the basketball is loose, picked up by the Cougars. Nice find to get it up ahead to Ellis. Keon Ellis gives it off to Williams, now to Bailey. 3:48 to go. Halfway home here in quarter 4. Williams drives in, puts up a wild shot, no good, rebounded by Malback. I'll tell you what, if you're going to put up a shot and look for contact, forget about that.
Yeah,
easy bounce pass kicked out by Bailey into the front row.
Yeah, when you're going to the basket, it seems like the referees are letting them play, letting a lot of things go. Now, they'll call some touch fouls around the perimeter, but you're right. When guys are driving, you don't hear a lot of whistles getting called.
Little's going to check back in. He's got 4.
Yep.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're looking for the contact, you might be...
yeah. No, I'm with you. Don't
might be in trouble.
Don't expect that there's going to be a foul called tonight in this one.
Thornhill guarded by Williams, gives it off to Demetrius. Johnson back to Juan. Now over to Demetrius. Coach Mintz smacking that floor. And that basketball goes down to our left. It's gone to our left. It's gone to our right. There's only one more place for it to go here on press row.
Going to the left is the way the Colonels are going. That's their scoring basket. So if you hear that phrase, that's a good thing if you're an Altavista Colonel fan. Colonels lead 46-41, just over 3 minutes to play here from the Salem Civic Center.
Another good phrase is bucket goes in. Altavista looking for some more of those as well. Malback lobs it over top to Thornhill. Juan finds in the corner. McClure, corner pocket for three. Short. Rebounded by Marsh. Not a bad shot by McClure. He was wide open to take it. Bailey with the board. 2:55 to go. He'll fire from the wing. Three-pointer's going to bounce around. No good. Little puts it. Darius blocks it. Out of bounds.
I had to hold my breath. Like you said, Bob, Darius got the block. It's close. You maybe could have said he fouled him, but it was a pretty clean block and a heady play right there by Darius, although basketball stays with Surry. And here comes Richard Hubbard checking back in with 4 fouls. Back in the action with 2:52 to go.
Everybody on the floor has one foul to their name from both sides. At least one foul. Bailey gives it off to Tracy Williams. Williams drives in, puts a shot up, no good. Rebounded by Demetrius Johnson. Again, I think Williams tried to initiate a little contact with Darius Johnson. Now Juan Thornhill the other side. Thornhill looking for somewhere to go. Finds it to Richard Hubbard. Hubbard for a triple. No good. Rebounded by Ellis. Ellis gives it off to Little.
Long-range shot hadn't been there recently for Altavista.
Little drives down, altered by Demetrius Johnson, picked up by Juan Thornhill. 2:20 to go, and the Colonels really might show some patience here once they get it across the timeline.
I think they'll try and milk this as much as possible. I think Coach Carlero wants a timeout. He does. They'll give it to him.
Thornhill had the basketball when the timeout was called. We'll take a timeout as well. It'll turn into a full 1-minute timeout with 2:13 to go in quarter 4. Altavista 46, Surry 41 on KD Country.
Try a variety of daily lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced, with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in this one. 46-41, Kyle. Regulation, I should probably stress.
Regulation, you're right. Very important to note that. First half was all Colonels. Second half, and really latter part of the second quarter, been all Cougars.
Thornhill doubled, and the foul is going to go against Tracy Williams, I think. Oh, maybe they point at Little. Nope, Tracy Williams point to the free throw line where Juan Thornhill will go.
And that's another one of those weird situations there. We've seen a lot more contact than that, and they really didn't get a whole lot of Juan Thornhill. I mean, he was bumped a little bit, but they've let a lot of things like that go. So it's tough as a player because you don't know what's a foul and what isn't. First free throw, no good from Juan.
Only free throw, no good. Marsh, bounce pass, nice pass to Justin Williams, and Demetrius going to goaltend that one. So Justin Williams was on the foul, and Justin Williams will get credit for the 2.
Yeah, Surry came down in a hurry, and Demetrius made up for it. He got the block, but they said it was already coming down, so it goes as a goaltend. 2 points for Surry. It's now a 3-point lead for Altavista.
Altavista playing a little pitch and catch with Thornhill and Malback. Colonel's in the front court. Malback is going to be fouled by Bailey. And next one, Altavista is going to shoot 2 the rest of the way. This will still be a 1-and-1, and it'll be Bailey's second.
Referee held up 2 fingers. They say Malback was in the act of shooting, and I'm with you. Michi was passing. But, hey, benefit of the doubt for the Colonels on this one. Colonel fans, they got to like that. And number 1 will toe that foul line. First one up off back iron, and no good for Mr. Michi Malback. Less than 2 minutes to go here. Colonels up by 3, Bob.
Wow, if I'm Jake Mintz, I might have put up a little more stink about that one. Malback has his second one. Colonels need this one to make it a 2-possession affair with 1:48 to go in regulation. Second free throw up. It'll go down 47-43.
And that's big. Makes it 2 possession, like you said, unless you have the odd occurrence of the 4-point play. Got to get in fouled shooting a 3-pointer.
Little guarded by Malbeck. Little's playing with 4 as well, so he's got to watch out on offense. Malbeck sticks his left hand out, gets the steal. Malbeck comes all the way down. Thornhill kind of screens the defender, and Malbeck gets a big layup, but give Juan a lot of credit, too, on that one.
Yeah,
49-43.
heady play by Juan, sealed his guy out, and wow, Michi Malbeck with a great steal and a great finish.
Justin Williams with it, gives it off to Marsh. Marsh will put it on the floor. Marsh passes off. Darius Johnson with the reject. Ball's knocked out of bounds, and it's going over to Altavista, so the Colonels picking up some momentum at the opportunist right time that there could be for momentum.
Absolutely. Things starting to swing back Altavista's way. They got a few breaks, and they made some big buckets. How about the steal by Michi Malbeck and then chasing it all the way down for the layup with the help from Juan, and great defense here. Colonels lead 49-43.
Michi's not long, Kyle, but he was long enough on that one with the left arm.
And he is quick, too.
Malbeck in the backcourt. Colonel's got to cross that timeline. Malbeck's going to be fouled. I think it might be against Little.
Well,
if it is, it's done.
And I don't think that was intentional, Bob, but it's almost getting to the point now where Surry has to think about fouling, particularly if Michi Malbeck can knock down some free throws right here. 1:04 to play. 49-43, Altavista leading.
Little's done.
Going to the line. Yep, that is 5 on Little, like you said. So Surry will have to go without one of their starters for the rest of the ball game.
He'll finish with 11.
And Malbeck pointing to the scoreboard saying it's 5.
Going to shoot 2. And Jake Mintz just using all of that 30 seconds that he's allotted.
Yeah.
It's going to bring in number 12, Robbie Elliott. I don't recall calling his name tonight, so
no.
He might be a guy out there that has 0 to his name right now, and hey, you do the fouling, Robbie.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Sometimes those guys that haven't played all game are dangerous. You don't have a scouting report on them.
Malbeck, first one up, first one in.
Boy, Michi Malbeck, has just been playing some inspired basketball here in the postseason, Bob. He has really been getting it done for the Altavista Colonels.
Surry's going to have to get busy from beyond the arc or get some clock stoppages and hit some free throws. They're down 8 with a $1.04.
Yeah, they either got to drive to the basket quickly or start hoisting some threes quickly. Here comes one of them.
Bailey almost got it to fall, rebounded by Surry. Johnson sticks his hands up, goes up top for it. Johnson still going after it. Foul. Ellis is going to go to the line. That might be number 5 on Darius.
Could be. He was in the area, but so are some other Colonels. Nope, it's on Darius. 5 for Mr. Darius Johnson. So his night is done with 52.4 seconds left. Luckily, the Colonels have a lead, Bob, and maybe they can handle the storm of not finishing the game with one of their big key players.
2 the rest of the way for everybody.
Yep, good point.
52.4 seconds to go. Eric Poindexter, the old man of the group, going to check in.
And we've talked about it before. He's the guy that's been in some of these regional championship games, state games. He's been around for so long. And he was on the court during some of those games, too. Eric has played a lot of minutes in his long career.
Ellis at the stripe for a pair.
So small lineup out there for the Colonels.
Well, it could be a free throw shooting lineup out there for the Colonels.
Very true.
51-44.
Yep. That's a good point. And it's a lot of ball handlers as well. Even Demetrius Johnson, for a big guy, he handles the ball pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think you need, 18 blocks at this point. You just need people that can hold on to that basketball and not turn it over. 51-45. Got to get inbounds, though, first.
Yeah, Colonels lead by 6 here. 52.4 seconds left.
Malbeck's going to do the honors, throws long. Juan catches. Juan holds. Juan over to Hubbard. Now Surry's got a foul. Hubbard drives in, and Bailey's going to foul him.
Yeah, and Hubbard had he had the lane to the basket open, but he knew the team wanted to run some clock, so he was hesitant to drive to the basket. He'll head to the free throw line. It's over 10 team fouls on Surry. Altavista with 9 team fouls. And a good man to have at the free throw line in Richard Hubbard.
Some precious time ticked off there, too.
Yeah.
Before Surry fouled, because they need every second they can get.
It seems like it should have been more, because I thought there was 52.4 seconds left when Surry was shooting the free throws. We're only down to 51.9.
I'm not aware, to be honest.
Okay.
So,
well, that's probably the best answer.
Hey, honesty is always the best policy.
Official is going to head over to the table. Let's see if he's talking about the clock. He could be talking about something else, too.
Hubbard's being, inadvertently frozen.
Yeah, being iced a little bit
right now.
I don't know if you can ice Richard Hubbard. He's He's got some ice water on the
48.
bench. They do adjust the clock, so I was right. A little more time ran off, although not a boatload more.
Right.
But, hey, every precious second counts in a game like this. Colonel's up 6.
Hubbard at the stripe for a pair.
And maybe they're even going to run off a little more.
Nope.
They put 49, so they actually added a second on there. Interesting enough.
Seemed like there was a ton of time that expired before Hubbard.
Oscar Briggs confirmed that those Surry free throws did come with 52.4 seconds left. So, interesting exchange there. And the first free throw is no good by Richard Hubbard.
Malbeck is at half court. Poindexter's way out back at the Surry end of the floor, just in case something funny were to come down. 52-45. Surry's got to start firing. 3-pointers up and in. Timeout. We'll keep it here. Robbie Elliott, like you pointed out, Kyle, we don't call his name all night. Ice cold, comes off the bench, sinks a 3. Surry down 4.
Yeah, big shot right there for Surry, the 3-pointer. We mentioned they might have to start resorting to that. Now all of a sudden things are changed because they're only down 4. If Surry were to get the ball back, they would have the luxury of, either driving to the basket. You even got enough time to run one of your set plays, certainly with 41.8 seconds left.
Maybe he's the big shot Bob of Surry.
And that's certainly possible. You never know who it's going to be, the guy that beats you, that's for sure. Who's going to be the guy that gets it done for the Colonels late, Bob? I think everybody's played pretty well up to this point, but we got to look at the game Michi Malbeck has played. Just outstanding stuff all night.
52-48, 41 seconds left in this one.
Yeah, Colonels lead here. They've led since about 4.5 minutes in the first quarter. Just one lead change in this one. That was when the Colonels took over. And way back when, the Colonels trailed 7-2 early. It was a nice first half for Altavista. Surry made a good little run late in the second quarter. Third quarter was all Surry. And the fourth quarter's been quite a bit more back and forth. Both teams having their share of the action.
Now, you know me. I'm a fan of trying to use some time, not immediately fouling the backcourt, but time not on your side right now. I think you almost got to get it when you can get it.
Yep.
The old hook and ladder. Ball back over to Thornhill. Juan throws deep. Michi catches. Touchdown with the 2. No good. Layup is too strong. Marsh with the board.
Colonels have got to hunker down and play D.
Elliott for 3. No good. Rebounded by Demetrius Johnson. And Johnson is going to be fouled.
Michi has done a whole lot tonight. Couldn't convert that layup there. They did get a great defensive stop, and Demetrius skied up to pull down the rebound. He'll head to the free throw line to shoot 2. 29.8 seconds left in this one. Altavista leading by 4. 2 free throws here would be big, Bob.
Demetrius at the stripe for a pair with 29.8 to go. And a 4-point cushion right now. But like you mentioned, these are important.
Absolutely. It's not a capacity crowd here at Salem, Bob, but it is a big crowd and probably a little bit more than sometimes high school guys are used to playing in front of, although it was a big crowd up at Spotswood the other night when Altavista won.
Demetrius sinks 2.
Man, he looked comfortable and calm there, didn't he?
54-48. Surry with the basketball. Marsh will fire from 3. It's off the glass. No good. Rebound by Malbeck, and that might get ready to do it. Fouls on Ellis.
Big play by Michi. We talked about it. Michi's not the tallest guy, but he certainly got up off the ground there to get the rebound. Lost it momentarily, was able to recapture the basketball, and gets fouled. And you're right, that might do it right there. If that 3 had gone in, well, that changes things a lot. But now Michi can make it a 7 or 8 point lead if he can knock down 1 or 2.
I think either's big. Then you're looking at 3 possessions.
Right.
With 16 seconds. And my math tells me that's hard. And Malbeck tells my math to go up 1. 55-48.
That may do it right there. 16.6. Let's see if Michi can knock down the second one. Colonels lead by 7.
If you're Altavista, get as far away from people shooting 3s as possible.
Absolutely. Jim got very quiet in here. Didn't affect Michi Malbeck. He knocked it down. It became like a library at Salem all of a sudden.
56-48. Bailey not there, and that should do it.
Miscommunication. Surry throws it out of bounds. Give Altavista's defense some credit, too. Down to 11.9 seconds left. Let's see if Surry's going to foul or if they just ride out the last 11 seconds.
Thornhill's going to inbound. And he's got some choices to go to, and he'll go to Richard Hubbard in the backcourt. Hubbard is going to dribble this one and lost it off the foot, and it's going to stay to Surry with 7.9. Now, at this point, Surry does have one timeout left, so they can stop the clock once.
Yeah.
But you got to hit a three. You got to hit 2 4-point plays, really.
Yeah, or you got to have 2 threes and then a 2 and 7.9 seconds left. But let's see. It's probably a catch-and-shoot situation for Surry. They're down 8.
It's a score-quick situation for Surry. 3-pointers up. It's a 2. They're called on the line. Last timeout used right there as Robbie Elliott catches fire late. And we'll keep it here, 56-50, Kyle. The Alvis Electoral Board is calling this one for Altavista at this point.
It's going to be a big win for the Altavista Colonels, and one that really, we didn't know till about 40, really less than that. About 29 seconds left that Altavista was going to win this one. Surry put up a great fight. Still 3.9 seconds left. 56-50, Altavista leads. Subway postgame show to follow this. Should have plenty of great discussion points because this was a fantastic game.
I'd like to hear from Chad Ward.
I would too. We'll have to see if we can get Coach Ward on the radio here, and that's another reason to stick around. If you're Altavista, you just got to be careful. Get the ball in bounds and don't do anything crazy.
Yep.
Don't throw an elbow. Don't throw a punch and pick up a technical foul.
Don't throw a shot.
Exactly. Just get the ball in and hold it. Let Surry foul you if they want to, but Bob makes the football covered up in the fetal position. Heck, you could even go down on one knee if you wanted to, probably. Kneel out the clock, right?
Make sure you're dribbling while you go to that knee. Thornhill was looking long, gets it to Malbeck. Meachie's going to dribble this one out, and that will do it. 56-50. Colonels get the 6-point edge, and they will advance to the state semifinals to where they'll take on J.I. Burden. We'll take a break and start the Subway postgame show after this timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Chris Anderson is the newest State Farm agent in Altavista, and he wants you to know that he's there for you. With the discount double check, Chris Anderson will help you find the best price for your car, home, or life insurance. Check out Chris Anderson today, Main Street in Altavista. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
McDonald's is a proud supporter of the community it serves daily with mouth-watering Big Macs and golden fries. In the spirit of community, McDonald's is pleased to sponsor the Altavista basketball teams as they battle through the tournaments. Good luck. McDonald's is the best place to celebrate a Colonel win, and they always invite you in for a tasty meal. Don't forget to try the new Fish McBites. McDonald's, Main Street in Altavista, cheering the Colonels on to victory.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels win 56-50 over the Surry Cougars. Great basketball game. Colonels took the lead in the first quarter, never relinquished it, although Surry was able to get it down to about a 2 or 3 point lead at one point for Altavista. Colonels hung on. Great ball game for them. Bob Alvis trying to secure a post-game interview as we speak. EC Glass Hilltoppers warming up right now as we speak. But what a ball game, Bob Alvis. I mean, we can look at a lot of different people on the Altavista roster that contributed to this one. But as a team, great effort by the Altavista Colonels. And they really had to just hold off a very hungry Surry Cougar squad.
Team win right here, Haney. I mean, this is not an individual effort to where you can say, well, so-and-so won us the game. I mean, a lot of people played big. And I thought this was a true team victory. Chad Ward will be joining us shortly here on the Subway post-game show. But the most important thing, my bracket says Altavista moves on to the Final Four.
Yeah, they'll play Thursday, 1 o'clock at the Siegel Center in Richmond. They'll take on J.I. Burton. And they join the Lady Colonels basketball team in Richmond. Of course, you heard the Altavista Lady Colonels win their game last night over Colonial Beach. Lady Colonels play at 3, so it'll be a true doubleheader for Altavista fans. If maybe you don't want to make the drive for one game, you get 2 games. Boys at 1, ladies at 3. Now all that, of course, subject to change due to weather, but stay tuned. As soon as we get the info from the VHSL, we'll pass it on to you on 105.5 or at kdcountry.com, or like us on Facebook, and you can get some updates that way. But next week, sure to be fun. If the weather will let us play it next week, we may be talking about a week after that, even depending on how bad it is. But let's focus on how good this win was, huh?
Yeah, no rest for the weary, as it will be a true double dip that day. Might have to share some duties on the PvP.
We might have to.
We'll see. Maybe I'll just take a break and you just pick up when they're dribbling down the court at some point. Altavista gets the victory over Surry County, and this one, Kyle, 56-50. When we come back, we'll have final numbers and more right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
Want a tire that offers enhanced safety for you and your family? See me, your Michelin dealer. Whatever you drive, chances are I have a set of Michelin tires that delivers the safe ride you want for you and your passengers. Michelin's advanced tread designs and special rubber compounds can provide exceptional grip, even on the wettest roads. So drop in today, and I'll help you get the drop on rain this season.
Find the right Michelin tire and get expert service at Perkins Twin Tire Altavista and online at perkinstwintire.com.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney alongside Chad Ward to join us briefly. But before we tell you about the game tonight, let's talk about the true heroes of the game, the sponsors here on the Subway postgame show. Subway caters. Call Robert at 369-2366. You want to have people over to eat, watch the game, give Robert a call. Let's also thank the First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. State Farm agents Eric Fletcher and Chris Anderson, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. English's, your complete home center. See them for Atrium vinyl windows. McDonald's, the McDonald's in Altavista is a proud supporter of the Colonels. Try the new Fish McBites. Tyree Littles, heating and cooling, keeping you warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Moose Family Center, Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Heard of Moose? Perkins Twin Tire, your home for Michelin Defender tires, stops up to 31 feet shorter and lasts 21,000 miles longer than the leading competition. El Cazador, voted best Mexican restaurant in town by their customers. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. And Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. They also bring you the YouTube broadcast. And I know Coach Ward's family probably listens on the internet at kdcountry.com. Walmart is the sponsor of that. The aforementioned Chad Ward joins me. You're moving on. That's the good thing. Let's start there.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. It's not about the quality at this point. It's just about advancing.
Darius got in foul trouble a little bit today, kind of got saddled a little bit, still finishes with a good number in 18, but I thought Michi was absolutely huge.
Michi was. He really stepped up for us. Surry came out and did a really good job of putting a lot of pressure on us in the backcourt, and they did a pretty good job of taking Juan out of the game out in front. And Michi had to step up and handle the ball, and he came down and he made some big plays. And his defense on the ball was really big for us.
You were up 17, and then they got back into it. What do you think led to that, them cutting into the lead?
Honestly, I would say that we kind of got a look about us that we thought this was going to be a little bit easier than we had expected. And, our guys had 2 big wins coming into this game, and I think we got a little bit of the big head there for a minute. And Surry was right there to give us a reality check.
I'll tell you, a lot of people might say Jacob McClure didn't do much, but he takes a couple big defensive charges and get you guys the basketball back when they're getting a lot of points.
Yes, and me and Coach both said that when we were walking into the locker room. Jacob's 2 charges were huge. Surry County was doing a really good job of penetrating and breaking us down out front and getting into the lane, and we're playing with our arms a lot. And Jacob is known as our guy that'll step in and get a charge. And he did that twice tonight, and it was real big for us.
You get the win, so obviously it's not an excuse, but do you think the team kind of got rattled with the transportation issues early?
I've never had such transportation issues in my life. The bus was smoking. We pulled over about 3 times. We ended up, our pep band who made the trip up here and our cheerleaders, they came back and picked us up, so it really was a whole team school effort.
What was the mentality when the transportation issues are happening with the guys?
Just keep your focus, guys. Right. Keep your focus. And then, we didn't have a whole lot of time. They gave us the extra 10 minutes to start the game. And we just kept telling our guys, keep your focus, be composed. We're going to overcome this. Everything's going to be all right. And, we came out and did really well. And then, like you said, they got we got the lead, and then they cut into it real quick. And their pressure was just awesome. Surry did a really good job of coming out and playing us. Their 1-3-1 was really difficult for us to handle.
Juan may have not have scored a lot, but he was a beast on the board.
As soon as they came out, I started yelling at Coach. They were guarding nose guarding Juan, and they were doing everything they could to take him out of it. And that was why Michi really had to step up and handle the ball for us tonight.
Do you know anything about J.I. Burton at this point?
Honestly, I don't.
Okay, I like honesty.
Honestly, I don't. And this is no knock against J.I. Burton, but we had kind of figured it was going to be Bland County. But it's going to be J.I. Burton, and so we got a few days to prepare. And I do know that they came out and played odd defense today on Bland, where they played man on the perimeter, and then they zoned 2 guys on the block. But honestly, I don't think they can do that with the Twins.
Well, and, the Twins do present a lot of matchup problems. But at this point, it's just as much about you guys of what, if you don't do stuff you're doing right, it could be a long night no matter what.
Right. And, the big thing about this time of the year is teams cannot go in and just change who they are.
Right.
You can tweak what you're doing, but for teams who try to go in and just completely change their system, that's not what we're going to do, and I don't imagine anybody else that are in the Final Four will do that either.
I really hope we got games Thursday and Friday next week. We'll see if Mother Nature cooperates.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this blizzard's going to do, but
hopefully it's no blizzard.
No,
hopefully.
I'm
crossing my fingers.
You would know better than I would. I'm looking for you for the answers on that.
All right, well, we might have to stare hard at me then. Coach, definitely appreciate it, and best of luck on the way back.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Chad Ward on the postgame show. Kyle rejoining me here momentarily as Altavista gets the victory 56-50. And always good to talk to Chad Ward, getting Haney back in the catbird seat, though. Let's review some final numbers before I get final thoughts. Timothy Marsh scores 6. Derek Bailey scores 6. Donnie Little has 11. Keon Ellis has 7. Devian Smith has 5. 5 from Robbie Elliott, all in the fourth quarter. 2 from Tracy Williams. 8 from Justin Williams. BMOC, Michi Malbeck tonight, 21. Juan Thornhill throws in 4, but 13 rebounds are very big, too. Demetrius throws in 12. Darius throws in 18 before being disqualified with 5 fouls. And Richard Hubbard sank a free throw towards the end to finish with 1. Final thoughts, Mr. Haney, before we mosey on out.
Yeah, I think I first said it back there in January when the Colonels were making one of their big runs and they were still undefeated. It's really a great team to watch, and it's a fun team to watch because they don't care who gets the points on any given night as long as they get the W. Juan Thornhill only with 4 points, and that's rare to see him held under double digits in points. But like I said, they don't care. As long as Altavista comes out with the win, they don't care who has the stats. Tonight, Michi Malbeck, the big scorer, but there was so many other guys we could talk about, too. And I heard you and Coach Ward talking about a bunch of people. I mean, pick your poison tonight. Yeah. Everybody was dangerous for Altavista, but, man, fun team to watch. If you can make it to Richmond, check them out. If you can't, definitely give them a listen. Yeah, because, again, really, really fun team to watch, the way they share the basketball and get it done on the hardwood.
Before we get out of town, though, we do have to do players of the game. I'll start first. I'll go with Surry. I liked what Timothy Marsh did. Marsh finishes with 6 and 10. He was a real spot-up type shooter who got things going, and really, I think if he could have maybe gotten a little bit more, Surry really might have provided much more of a headache.
Yeah, you got a great point there. I'm going to go with Justin Williams, the man whose name we didn't know for a little while. He was a slashing guard coming off the bench. He used that spin move a whole lot. Kind of hard to find out there for the Altavista defense. I thought he created a lot of things for them, and he was a terror on the defensive end as well. You're smiling because I think you feel like the Altavista player of the game selection could be slightly easier than the Surry player of the game selection.
Maybe not.
Maybe
I'm
not.
going Juan Thornhill. 13 points. Or 13 boards, pardon me, 4 points. I really liked what he did when he screened for Michi to get that layup.
Yeah.
Thornhill is kind of going to be my guy, but I think there are a lot of ways you can go with this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go a couple different ways, and I hate to do this because I know you hate the co-player of the game, but I'm going to go co-players of the game. I look at Demetrius Johnson, sometimes a little bit overshadowed by brother Darius, but don't let that fool you. Demetrius can play too. Bob, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. And then I got to give some love to Michi Malbeck. How about Malbeck? 6 of 8 from the free throw line. That's very good. 21 points total, 4 assists, 3 of 3 from three-point land. The numbers don't lie, Mr. Alvis. And the big win by the Colonel, 56-50, doesn't lie either. They're moving on to the Siegel Center.
I'm not a big fan of co-players of the game, but I'm still going to give you a ride home.
Absolutely. Because you know I'm right.
Yeah, you are. You absolutely are right. And, I mean, you know, I just thought Juan did a lot, too. But, I mean, you know, I do not take umbrage.
Well, 13 rebounds in a game is amazing. And then throwing on
from
top
a guard.
of he's a guard. Exactly.
From a guard who's really, you know, your point guard, shooting guard de facto. I mean, Juan handles the ball a lot. But to get 13 rebounds, you know, and I mean 12 of them on the defensive end, where they're probably going to come from.
Sure.
But I mean, how many guards get down there and bang?
And not many do it like Juan does. That's for sure. And you have a great pick for your player of the game, definitely. And
Nick Bailey likes to bang around.
Oh man, he can go down low. He can go on the perimeter. He'll make them from the parking lot, sell popcorn, and play with the pep band at halftime all at the same time. Couldn't have done it without Nick Bailey. Did we mention our sponsors
yet?
We did.
We took care of that while
Did you mention the instant auction next week, March 9th?
That I was going to let you do.
And I know you love that.
Right.
I'm going to mention some things to you. I know you love CC's Pizza. I know you love Applebee's. I know you love Outback. I know you love the Crown, formerly known as the Crown Sterling. I know you love staying at the Craddock Terry Hotel. The list goes on.
I like to get away from
the
next guy.
Go to kdcountry.com and check out the full list. And, of course, we're adding to it. I mean, we'll get some stuff next week as well. Your chance to bid and buy on the phone. If you've never been a part of it, it really is a fun event. And we're going to have basketball next week, too, Bob, scheduled for 1 o'clock Thursday. Stay tuned because that's subject to change. But the guys at 1 from the Siegel Center, ladies at 3 from the Siegel Center, you know we'll be there for the double dip and exciting stuff. We love doing the double headers, Bob.
KDCountry.com. You can get us on Facebook and Twitter as well. For Kyle Haney, Nick Bailey, and everybody involved in this one, this is Bob Alvis. We'll talk to you next week. Altavista completes the double there. Boys and girls both going to Richmond right here on 105.5 KD Country.